And we are live. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream, guys. Just finishing up work and getting things rolling. Hey, Chaeto. Hey, Steve. Welcome, welcome, guys. Aquarium Activist. Jamie Reef Tank. Hello, hello. Here's the Hangout links if anyone wants to come chat. I was just starting to pull some names from O's video for the giveaway in a bit. Hey, Royal Reefer. So just going to throw this out there. If you guys have not read the description, Reefing with O is going to be giving away his Zeovit stuff since he swapped to Aqua Forest. So there's a big list, and if you watch his video and leave a comment, you guys could be entered. So it's going to be a giveaway we're going to do sometime during the stream. Oh yeah, Notification Squad. You guys are the best. Remember that. It's all about the Notification Squad. Hey, hey, Reefers. Eradicate Reef, welcome, man, welcome. Engineering Aquariums, yo, welcome. Hey, so a few things to do. So random update. I changed the lighting on my Chaeto reactor to a cool white light, and I'm curious to see if that makes a difference in it. So one of my random experiments. I'm eventually going to try the red and blue grow lights, but I'm trying all the different spectrums to see which one has the best growth. Ben Reefing, a little bit of reef. What's going on, guys? Jump on, but I'm in a taxi at work. Haha, nice, Marine Dream. Still, thanks for jumping on either way. That's awesome. Royal Reefer. Yeah, YouTube's notifications aren't the best, but hit that bell and make sure, that's your best chance. Otherwise, it's kind of Russian roulette if they tell you anything or not. I don't even know if the bell kind of secures it, but it's better than nothing. So I promote the Notification Squad. So far, yesterday, I put on the cool crisp white lights on the Chaeto reactor, since I know they work pretty good with other stuff. Hey, Reefing with O, there's the main man. Come jump in the Hangouts if you want. So Reefing with O, so you guys have better checked out his video, because he's doing a pretty sweet giveaway on the stream today. Oh, you're on a train heading from home to New Jersey. Alright, fair enough. So, I've just copied all the usernames from your comments on there, Seymour, so I'm slowly building a list. I'll refresh in a bit, see if there's any new ones, but... Ben Reefing, new to the hobby. So far, loving it, learning as much as possible. Great place to be, Ben. It's an amazing hobby. Hey, Dennis. Welcome. And if you guys have any questions as we're streaming or doing stuff, feel free to ask them in the comments, or if you want to come chat voice, you can jump in the Hangouts with me. Either way. 9stick Nate, what's going on? Hey, Philip. Welcome, guys. Everyone's starting to roll in slowly. Hangout is not working here. I'm going to try a different link. I don't know why, but everyone seems to have issues with my Hangout link. Sometimes it takes a few tries. Try that one. See if it works. Ben Reefing, new to the hobby. So do you have a tank? Hey, somebody got in.
Devin,
hey.
How you doing?
Hey, excellent. How's the train doing?
Good.
Yeah, excellent.
Good. I'm on the New Jersey Transit, heading home from Triton. Had a company party.
Sounds pretty good. Hey, Aquatico.
I'm gonna ask you to just do the giveaway for me.
Perfect. Before I started, I just started
you're ready.
Copying the names off it. So,
do you want? Hey guys, so, next Wednesday at 6.
I think there are a couple of places that you can use to just YouTube comment picker.
I tried those.
Do a Google search.
But they're not as exciting as doing the wheel.
All right, man. I'll leave it up to you to do it. So
I literally spent the last few minutes before I started copying and pasting usernames from your comments. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Hey, Haley. Hey, Marine Dream. Where are you based? I'm in Canada, reefing with those in the States, in New Jersey, I believe.
I live in Brooklyn. But,
in Brooklyn,
I'm
okay.
in New Jersey right now.
Okay, that's fine. Gotcha. Nice. So Haley, she's in the UK. We got people from all over the place on here. It's a worldwide stream. 32-gallon LED BioCube. Not too many mods of yet. Slowly working. Nice. Those are great little tanks. Evil torture. I love the wheel. It's great. Right, Seymour? Do you like the wheel?
You know what? Yeah. Well, you know what, Devin? I put this in your hand, so I am going to follow your lead here.
This is fair.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna drop your video in the chat. So if anyone isn't entered yet and wants to get in on this, make sure you're subbed to Reefing with O's stream and make sure you guys leave a comment. I know his contest is mainly for the US. I don't know, were you gonna ship it elsewhere if they paid for it, or just US?
I think just US.
Okay, so
I
just
think with the I have another contest where I'm giving away a power head. That'll be US and UK.
Okay.
But for now, yeah, this stuff to ship and insure internationally is just too much. Yep. So it's contiguous US only.
Okay, sounds good. So this US only. If you guys are in the US, make sure you guys get in this contest. It's gonna be good. And another sneak peek. I'm not gonna tell you guys till later in the stream, but I'm having another spontaneous 3K subscriber contest, which I have to make a video on soon. But it's gonna be a sweet prize. But that will be a little later. Tom or Levy, how's it going? Anyone going to Mac now? I wish I was. Sadly, it's not happening right now. The only person I know for sure going is Mr. Rico, but I'm not sure if anyone else is yet.
Mage is going.
Royal Reefer? Death Mage is going? Nice. Extra jealous couple guys. How do you enter? In the description of the live stream video, there's a link to Reefing with O's video. Check it out. I'm gonna give you guys like 20 or so minutes, and I'll re-scoop all the names off of it. So if you want to win,
Death Mage, I think, is going to Mac now.
Yeah, no, that's
Death Mage is going to Mac now.
That should be good. Lucky lady. I'm kind of jealous
of
you guys. Hey, how are ya?
Good.
Excellent. Hey, Royal Reefer. So one sec. In the comments, they're just asking about dosing Kelkwasser. Dennis, start with a low dose, something like half a teaspoon per gallon. Yeah, I believe it works out to around 2 teaspoons per gallon, but maybe just start slower and then slowly mix it up, because it's better to go slow than overdose your tank. So definitely go slow with that one.
Wait, what is Kelkwasser used for again?
Kelkwasser, the soda lime, it's basically a way of raising a balanced way of raising calcium alkalinity in your tank. A lot of people will put it in their auto top-off and dose it that way. The only issue with doing it that way is it's not necessarily 100% consistent. It might, if it's really hot out and you get tons of evaporation, you're going to be dosing a lot more, right? Since it's coming based off your auto top-off eventually, so that's kind of the downside. There's calc reactors and different ways you can do it with the dosing pump, but a few different considerations.
You dose, right? In your tank?
I do.
What brand of calcium, mag, and alk do you use?
I use bulk raw chemicals, so it's brandless. I got a buddy that works on like oil rigs and stuff, and for whatever reason they had excessive amounts of stuff, so he hooked me up with a big bucket of it. So I have no idea what it is.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's not the best. It's not 100% pure. I know every once in a while there's little particles in there, so I just run it through like a little Sevi that I use for brine shrimp just to filter out anything, then it seems to be pretty good. Yep.
Okay.
AL, what's going on, guys? They're asking in the comments, Kate, if O could give a summary of what the contest is. You're supposed to be watching his video to enter.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Hello, guys.
Hey, Aquarium Activist.
Hey. So I'll try, Devin, to give a quick summary.
All right.
So basically, in the last 2 months, I basically, for 8 or 9 months, I ran a Zeovit tank, and I was very successful with it. But, living in the park, I decided to transition to Triton. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm giving away my Zeovit stuff to, one lucky reefer who wants to try Zeovit. So the reactor is used, but the supplement and the other stuff, there's a lot left. So it's enough, I think, for someone with a mid-sized tank to run Zeovit for, I think, 4 to 6 months, which I think is pretty decent. A chance to try it, see how it goes on your tank, and if you want to continue, you can buy these supplements. So it comes with everything you need to fully start up and run the Zeovit system. I'm sorry for the background noise. I am on a train, so it includes the bacteria, the trace elements, and the trace elements comes in a tablet form, which I like. You don't have to dose it every day. You basically drop some tablets in your sump and replace them every 4 months. So that's kind of a quick summary.
What brand is the Zeovit?
So the
Reactor.
Reactor is a skims. The
Okay.
supplements and everything is directly from KZ, which is the maker of Zeovit.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty sweet prize, especially including that reactor. Seymour is a generous man.
Okay, I'm just waiting now for my YouTube to load up so I can watch that video so I can enter that because
Excellent,
I'm pretty
excellent.
sure my acros would love Zeovit system.
No, definitely. Make sure you mute yourself when you watch the video though, so we're not backfeeding. But
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give it probably about 20 minutes for anyone who wants to enter, and then I'll pull the names and we'll sneak in some draw.
Can you drop the link to his video in the comments?
Yep, I can do that.
So I can or the chat.
Boom, it's in there. Hey, Aquarium activist, could you just make
while
Perfect, thanks. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Seymour.
I was gonna say, was one of the other topics like nighttime flow?
Yes, that was actually one of the things I was wanting to talk about, because I've read a lot of mixed things on whether people think like the sea is calmer at night, or if it's always in motion, always turbulent. So do you change your flow at night, or do you leave it consistent throughout the day and night?
Usually, slow down at night until I watched the video where Jake Adams is lower flow during the day, which allows especially the soft corals to look big and look fluffy, and then I kind of speed it up at night to like clean out all the detritus. That's what I do now because I think it allows me to enjoy the tank during the day where the soft corals, it's not exactly down to nothing where nothing moves because I still have some SPS that are going to need some flow, but then towards the evening and it's on its highest at night.
Okay, so you're doing more flow at night than the day. So in the past, I previously I would turn my MP40s down to about half speed, and I turned the gyri off at night. Now, recently, I still let my MP40s go down, but I've been leaving the gyri on 24/7 rather than letting it turn off at night. Hey, Dave. So that's been kind of my later strategy. So I always, previously in the past, always had it more peaceful at night. So this is kind of the interesting bit of experiment for me. So it's kind of cool that you make yours more intense at night. So I was like, oh, I'll let the fish sleep a bit. But for the most part, underwater is fairly consistent, right? Day or night. So it shouldn't matter as much with them. But on the flip side, I think there's less waves at night, but the currents, all that stuff's not going to change too much. At least from my perspective of it all.
Is it that we just simply don't see the wave at night?
Okay.
The last time when I grew up in Jamaica, so grew up, surrounded by water. But when I went back to Jamaica a couple years ago, so I remember trying to, so the resort I stayed at had this little man-made island where, you can wade pretty easy during the day. But at night, when I tried to wade to the same island, like seas just seemed a little rougher. Now, I'm not saying that flow in the ocean is more at night, but it didn't seem any less. It didn't seem like the sea was any calmer or anything at night.
I think it depends where you are. Like, my only reference is, I went to Mexico a bunch of times, and it always seemed calm at night. Now, I think there's two things. I think, one, it depends where you are in the world, and I think it also depends on the wind, because the wind's the main thing that makes waves when it's blowing against it gets to the shallower depths. And I know a good chunk of the wind is thermal wind, so during the heat of the day, that would do it. But I know there's lots of just other ones, so I think the area would probably make a big difference, too. So a lot of people in the chat are saying they do the same flow day and night. Narcosis.
And where I was in Jamaica, where I said there's some brain corals and some other stuff, like the wave action was pretty serious. There were no soft corals there. This wasn't like a lagoon, but the wave action was pretty serious, which, let me think about, basically, so another thing that I just thought about is, man, we have corals in our tank that come from so many different environments, and we're trying to make it work. Like I imagine we have stuff that's in a lagoon that's protected, that doesn't get any wave action at all, versus, we might have right next to brain corals that get just pounded and are in turbid water. We're also bringing animals together from so many different environments and are trying to make them work. With the gyres, I don't know if, something that's high up in the tank, it might get a little less flow, but it's not that much less flow that, versus high in the tank versus low in the tank. It's still getting on a flow.
Yeah. Okay, so Rossi's Reef was just asking in the comments too about the Chaeto spectrum. So your fancy schmancy new Chaeto reactor, it uses a cool white, right? Like the Oral, your big one that you bought? I forget the brand name, but
it uses white.
Yeah,
and
cool white though, not warm white, right?
But it has, cool white. Then it has some red in it. It uses cool white, but it has some red spectrum. It has some red LEDs.
Okay, so the first one I did, I had the 90 watt, mainly red with a little bit of blue, grow light. That thing grew Chaeto like crazy. Then the Chaeto reactor, I tried the warm whites, which actually worked pretty darn well because I know the worm does have the red spectrums in it. So now I was going to order some of the red and blue like LED grow light strips off the net, but a lot of people that you actually use them for gardening are saying they get better growth out of the white lights. So yesterday I put on the cool white lights. I'm going to run that for about a month, then I might try using the red and blue one about that. So it's kind of...
So the best performance I've gotten is... So I've built a Chaeto reactor using the BRS, using the Marine Depot, the one Marine Depot has, which I think is warm white. I also, the one you recommended, I think that's cool white. And then now I have another cool white mixed with red. And I gotta say, the best performance I had was with the cool white that you recommended, which I ended up giving to someone else. I think if Dave gave it to someone else, but I had that Chaeto reactor in my tank for a couple of weeks and it was full. It could be that I was going through a nutrient issue at the time, but for me, like straight just specs performance. And not only was the Chaeto reactor full, but I had to soak that reactor. I've been using algae reactors since like maybe last November, December. And that's after only running it for a couple of weeks, I had to basically soak it and scrub it down because there was so much gunk and coral and algae. And get the react. So I'm gonna for me straight up, I think the cool white. I like again. It could be. There's a lot of factors at work. It could be that. Sorry for the noise. It could be that it was just nutrients was just at a point where the performance, the Chaeto just grew crazy in that few weeks. But in my experience this is my fourth or fifth algae reactor I'm using. The cool white that you recommended, the one that you sent me the link on Amazon.
Yeah, that's the best one.
That same one. That's the one that has performed the best for me so far.
Okay, nice. No, that's good to know. It's been I'm curious because I did the warm at first because that's what I had laying around the house. Now the cool, which is I'm going back to it now, so it'll be interesting to compare it after a couple months with the warm one.
Yeah, the one now that I'm using, the Pax Bellum, it actually grows like it's almost like a cross between an algae reactor and an algae scrubber, where it grows this weird, it could be flow. I did turn up the flow on my on everything. Could be flow, but it's almost like it's growing this mix of what I see. CJ scrapes off his algae scrubber, and the Chaeto still grows. So I don't know if that has something to kind of do with it, but it grows algae. It just grows like the Chaeto doesn't get really thick in there. It just grows a lot of weird algae, which is fine. It's nutrient export anyway, so I'm happy with that.
No, hey, at the end of the day, that's what matters. I get some weird stuff in mine once in a while. I don't know if it's a cyano or what, but I get some kind of like a weird or whitey, gooey type of stuff growing in mine every once in a while that I just clean out when I empty it. But that's a question for you guys in the chat. If any of you guys run Chaeto reactors, do you grow other weird stuff aside from Chaeto in your reactors? Like, does your Seymour, do you get all the weird stuff in your Pax reactor as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. This is the first one I've had with the reds, and it grows all kind of nasty. Like I don't know what to call it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I know someone's having the question, since we're talking about algae reactors. Someone has the question. Someone's thinking it, even though they haven't posted it yet. But I wouldn't use this as the main source for pods. Yes, when you're emptying it, you're going to see pods running around in it. But if you have a mandarin and you're depending on the packs, like an algae reactor to be the main source, I wouldn't. My personal recommendation is no. I don't think it could be the main source to feed. Like, yes, you'll get some pod. It's a safe haven for pods to reproduce. Yeah. But if you're using it for like a mandarin, I don't think so. My personal recommendation is no, because I know that question always comes up.
You know, I haven't had that question, but I would agree. I definitely do see pods inside of mine, but there's more in the sump than there is in there. Like, I have a bunch of rock rubble in the bottom of the sump just for a pod place. So, yeah, I do agree with you, and that's a very good point.
I keep the little, like, I have a Red Sea tank and the little 2.5 gallon or 3 gallon. What was supposed to be the ATO?
Yeah.
I did into like a mini refugium. That's one of the reasons I still have that. That basically is like a pod farm.
Yeah.
If I put my hand in it and scoop up some water, it's like you see them crawling around. That is a pod farm, and I've only seeded my tank once.
Yeah.
And I've had dragonets in my tanks like from day one, and I have 2 mandarins that are loving life.
Nice.
I have a pair of mandarins that are living life in my tank now. But so that little refugium is I've seeded it once. I went to like algae barn and bought like deal where you can get 5,000 pods.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever seeded my tank with pods, and I see like different bugs. Like I see the big ones at night with the now that I'm using a red light, you see like you see the little ones that jump around a lot. You see the medium-sized ones. I see all kind of different sizes. So,
no, that's awesome. Yeah, even because I culture pods too. So it's funny the difference. Like you see big ones you can see, and the other ones are literally like a pinhead, like just little specks just cruising around all over the place. Okay, so what were you gonna say, Narcosis?
So me, as far as flow at night, I do more of a slow wave flow at night because if you think about it, you know, all of the like big, like heavy storms normally happen at night, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's different. It's really interesting because like Seymour was saying, at night he runs his more flow, where I do more flow in the day, and I was doing very low flow at night, but I just recently upped it, so it's a little more flow now than it was. Like the gyro is staying on, but the MP40 still tones down. And then other people,
you know what I've noticed?
So as far as my flow during, hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
So my flow during the day, I kind of have it like slower at night, and then like in the morning I have it like slower, but I do have it ramping up.
In the day, in the day or at night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, basically I have it like ramping up like during the day, and then I have my heaviest flow right before, like in the evening.
Yep.
Is when I have my heaviest flow, and then as it kind of like turns over to night, I have it going back down like slower, but I have it like kind of cut off, like kind of cut like straight to slow.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I kind of have it like ramping up like a wave,
and
then I kind of have it just cut off and just go back slow.
What do you use for power heads or for flow?
I use the gyre, and then I have those spin streams, Innovative Marine streams.
Yep. Yeah, I used to have those.
On
nice.
On my Jabo 12,000 that I have running at max.
Yeah. Okay, nice. No, awesome.
I I'm gonna pay more attention over the next couple of nights, but I don't think my corals close all the way at night. Now that I'm running a lot, you know, they'll sink in. Like the Duncans don't close at all; they're just open all the time.
Seymour, earlier when I was on the stream, Paul stream, you said something about
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah.
your fish might be picking on your acans.
Mm.
Look at night and see if
Oh,
their
I
polyps
think
are coming out more.
I'd have,
If they are coming out more at night, then most likely your fish are picking at them during the day.
well, I'd
You
have,
know, like as soon as like in the morning they see the pods, they go, "Oh, I might as well eat that for now." Then they don't come out the rest of the day. You know.
my buddy had a fox face, and he was just a bugger in his tank. He would always be nipping at the acans. Like, he literally took most of his acans out of the tank because of that and threw them in the sump, just so they didn't get destroyed.
so. I am going to move them to the nano tank. And actually, I think I already moved them to the nano tank. So I wasn't home today. But yeah, I've just never gotten. And, I've changed fish stocks. I'm the type of person that doesn't mind rehoming fish. So my fish stock over the years have always changed. Like, I'll put baby tangs in my tank, and then when they get too big, I'll rehome them. Like, I'm in New York City, so there's never a shortage of reefers with bigger, better tanks
Yeah.
that I take my fish. So I have no problem doing that.
No,
But
no.
I think it's just to be honest, I mean, the thing about angels was interesting because I know angels pick on clams whenever I try clams. But I think it's even before I had angel fish, I think it's just always been my boogie coral. Like, I've never had fun. I've kept acans. Nice. I try to keep acans in my nano tanks before. I've just never been able to. So this is not the first time I'm trying to keep acans. And in the nano tank, I have clownfish. So I don't know. It might just be my boogie coral, but I think I'm gonna move it and see how. Because this one was nice and fluffy at the store, and I only have it a couple of days now. I've only had it for 4 or 5 days. So
Aquaman butterfly too will pick on the polyps of acans.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move it to the nano and see what happens.
So just a sec. Top Tube TV was saying his water is very cloudy. Carbon wasn't working. To me, that sounds like a black bacteria bloom in your tank. Generally, those will clear those on their own, but Top Tube TV, how old is your tank? Good question. What was Nick asking? Nick was asking, do you feed your corals at day or nighttime? I usually feed mine personally. Once in a while I'll feed at night when they have all those big polyps out, but for the most part I feed my fish, and then whatever's left over for the little frozen bits goes to the corals. That is squirted all around the corals. So usually evening-ish when I feed the fish.
I do the same thing.
Yep. Ozone. Yes, I'm still using ozone. Ozone's good. And I'm guessing I'm only using 15 to 20 milligrams. Very low amount. And I just run that for 3 hours a night. So that's what I've been doing. Keeps water super crystal clear. So far, so good.
Feeding corals is a waste of time.
I would disagree. I don't think you need to feed them. However, they seem to grow faster when you do feed them. So it depends. If they're big and you don't want them to grow, don't feed them. But if you want more growth, I feel that feeding them, I notice a difference in growth.
Well,
depends on the coral.
Here is the big discussion. Are they growing because you're feeding them, or are they growing because they're eating all of the nitrate and phosphate and the extra ammonia in the water?
Either way, I feed or they grow. I don't know. But
I'm not a coral feeder per se, but I do see like bubble tip anemone. My bubble tip anemone splits, and it's always in the area where I feed the tank. So I'm pretty sure. So I've watched sometimes where it does get some residual food. So I don't feed corals directly, but it's in an area where, especially the euphyllium of corals, it's in an area where they're more likely to pick up residual food scraps.
Yeah.
So probably they're getting fed, and I don't know.
So there are certain ones like the Dumpkins I'll feed like bigger chunks of mysis. The Dendros I will. Some of the acans I'll try and give bigger chunks too, but then I gotta fight the shrimp away from it. A lot of the SPS and stuff, I'll just a little tiny leftover bits. I'll just squirt it towards the polyps.
What I do is so yeah, I kind of do what you do, except And when I feed the fish, I turn off all the flow, and then if the fish miss any chunks, it'll just land on the plate coral or the acanthophilia. And the acanthophilia just completely inverts itself, sucks it all in, then the plate coral just eats it all up. So then I usually feed over them, so then I don't get a lot of scraps on the ground, and then the sorry snails go after the scraps that are on the ground.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Like what I do
Yep.
when I feed my tanks is I mix my own food, but I use mysis, I put some garlic in there, and I also add phytoplankton to it. And that's basically what I use to feed my corals. They love it. Like every polyp cell on almost every coral, except for one of my new macros.
Yeah.
Being stubborn.
Nice. Yeah, with phyto actually, I don't feed that. I don't mix it in, but I do have phytoculture. So once every week, I don't know. Some weeks I do it every few days. Other times it happens every few weeks. But then I'll just randomly dump it in around, mainly around my gorgonians and stuff. But all the corals kind of get it as it goes around. Yeah. Oh yeah, torches and hammers. Like generally the torches. Since I started feeding them, I've noticed they're starting to split and grow more heads. So. For me, I notice the difference feeding versus not feeding. Hey, 51840.
So, what do you usually feed your euphelias?
I feed phyto.
Just phyto?
So I'll feed phytoplankton generally to the tank. Other times I will feed, phytoplankton, but the majority of the time it's either mysis or mysis with a bit of canalus mixed in.
Okay, cool.
Those are just frozen ones that, like, the fish get all the big particles. It's just the tiny little bits left over in the water mixture that I use to feed all the corals.
I also think I'm not consistent. I don't feed. One of the reasons I don't direct feed is because I think to see that sustained growth rate, I think that one-off feeding is not going to do much. So I don't think I'm going to be the person who's disciplined enough to do weekly, bi-weekly, or whatever feedings. So that's because, I don't think the coral's going to benefit from the...
I think they benefit. How much they benefit is a whole nother question. But, I mean, I don't have any schedule. It's not like I do it consistently. It's just randomly. If I have too much food in the cup, once the fish are done, it goes to the corals. Some days I'll squirt it on them. Other days I'll just dump it in if I'm in a hurry and broadcast feed. So it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, NATO, I feed the shrimp juice.
I got the pair of harlequin shrimp.
Nice. How you liking them?
They're looking awesome. My LFS just gives me a ton of Astrina stars, or they might just give me a chocolate chip star. But
yeah. So Nick's asking, Seymour, do you add phyto to your tank at all? He did say in the chat a minute ago he might cut out for a minute, so we'll see.
Okay, I'm gonna drop out soon.
Okay.
I'll probably come back in. When's the giveaway gonna be around?
I'm actually gonna do it right away, I think. So,
right now.
Yeah. Okay, so Seymour hopefully comes back on. I gave it about half an hour for anyone to sneak in there. Royal Reefer, can you just mute for a sec? You just get a bit of background noise from you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks.
So the giveaway's gonna be in 30 minutes?
Nah, I might do it now. I'm just refreshing the page, making sure I got everybody. Alright.
I'm just chilling here.
Sounds good. So I'm just loading up that name picker thing here, so... Edit.
Were you wrestling on something?
Oh, we are, man. Oh, you didn't read the video description?
Hey, Doug, could you get me in?
I will give you guys 2 more minutes. You have to be subscribed to Reefing with Those channel, and you have to comment on the video that's in my video description. And I'm pulling all the names for people who commented, and that's the one in Reefing with Those video.
Wait, 2 minutes for what?
To enter the contest if you're not in it. To win Reefing with Those a bunch of Zeovit supplies.
Oh, I mean, wait, is it the same contest as the gyro giveaway?
Nope. He's giving away a bunch of Zeovit stuff. And I'm drawing for it. Alright, you guys have 2 more minutes. Make sure you're...
Wait, so which video? Because I saw the Reefing with O...
Yeah, that's the one.
Video. with the video he was talking about the giveaway?
Yep, that's the one. That's
Oh,
what we're
the
giving
one?
away.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't commented on that. Am I in the list?
Did you comment on his video?
I can't remember. It was a while ago.
Well, you better go comment. Are you in there?
Yo, Seymour, please feed your acans this time.
Okay, I'll go check. Hold on.
Okay. Go drop a comment if not. You guys got 2 minutes. Then we're gonna draw it. So I'm gonna give you guys a teaser
Where's
in
Seymour?
He's muted. I think he's there though. He's hiding.
Oh.
Let's see.
Okay, here. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. So it's your last chance. 2 minutes to get in there. And I'm gonna give you guys a nice teaser for another contest coming up. If you guys don't know, another brand, Somatic, it's a sub-brand of Vertex. And they got some pretty cool stuff. So if you guys want to get a sneak peek before I actually make the contest video, somaticaquaristik.com. And they have the S60, I believe it is, or the 60S skimmer. And I'm going to be giving one away for my 3,000 subscriber contest. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
yeah, so Somatic actually has some really cool stuff. They have like some really funky modular sumps. I was looking at a bunch of their products. They got some cool stuff. So, and it's kind of a sub-brand by Vertex, and Vertex is super high quality, great stuff. So I haven't personally had a chance to play with them yet, but from what I've looked at and read reviews, they're supposedly pretty nice. So check out Somatic, and it'll get you guys a head start for whenever I make a contest video. Probably do it in the next week or so. So that should be fun.
Oh, I'd like to announce something. This is kind of towards my channel, but I just thought we'd do it on a live stream. So if anybody who's not subscribed to my channel, please go subscribe. I'm doing a 100 subscriber giveaway contest. And I officially now have a sponsor for my channel. But sadly, at the moment, I can't say who it is because their website is still under construction, but they will go live mid-September.
Oh, nice. Is this related to your giveaway?
Yes, they're actually sponsoring me
Nice.
with a fish to give away.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Wait.
Should
we'll
be good,
working on
man.
that. Once they hit 100 subs, they'll be going online, basically.
Excellent. Should be good.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, your guys is 2 minutes up. I'm refreshing his page, and whoever's commented is going to be in.
I just commented, so I hope that I get in, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, we got a bunch in since I did it. You guys are quick. Okay. Okay, so if you guys watched and read the rules, you guys have to be in the UK just because you didn't want to ship anywhere else. So if you're not, you may have to bargain with them. I think he did say there was might have been something for the UK he was working out. Seymour, correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
Wait, you just said that we have to be in the UK?
No.
US.
He was shipping it to the US.
Oh, yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. All right, give me 2 secs to finish copying these names, and then we'll do it up. Do.
I hope that I win. Yeah.
I like doing these
Everybody
contests.
hopes
It's
that they
fun.
win.
I know it. They're fun. All right. Okay. So, Aquarium Activist, you were the last one to enter.
Oh, yeah. That's
Just
right.
refreshing it one last time, and no, your last one. All right, cut off. So we have how many? We'll see.
Of course, I was the last one. I was like, oh, no, 2 minutes. I wasn't sure if I made a comment or not.
Okay, the wheel is coming over. Dun, dun, dun. I've missed the wheel. It's been too long since we did a contest. Okay.
Devin, are we able to see your screen?
You have to watch it through YouTube. Just make sure you mute it if you load it.
Okay.
I don't think it lets me share to Hangouts and YouTube at the same time, so.
I don't think so either.
It's probably doable, but I'm sure it will create some crazy loop of infinity. One of those, like, infinity mirrors. Okay, I'm gonna make myself smaller. Da-da-da.
Hey, Rico.
Mr. Rico. Screen is frozen. Here we go. Alright, so, okay, this is going to be the giveaway for O's awesome prize pack of Zeovit goodies. So if you've never tried Zeovit, I haven't, but it could be a fun way to try it. It's a great way to get everything you need. And start the wheel. And tanks and updates. You're out of there, man. Dun dun dun.
Mine's like a minute behind my video feed.
Yeah, I know. That's the one pain thing. When you're actually streaming it, it's by the time they see it, it's like 30, 40 seconds delay.
Yeah. Like, see, now it's spinning.
Okay. So you're getting a sneak peek.
Yeah.
Reefing with Ryan. Oh, you're out, man. Dun dun dun. NATO, you don't see your name. Did you enter? I'm just gonna check quickly. Oh, you did enter NATO. You should be on that list then. Oh no, I wonder if I can still edit it. Oh, you're lucky. Okay. Submit. There you go. So didn't change it. Perfect. Okay. You're lucky you snuck that in. Good catch. Okay. Next spin. Dun dun dun. And. Oh, Narcosis, you're out, man. Okay, Reefing with Ryan was out, wasn't he? On the first one.
It's not even showing your video.
Are you watching YouTube?
No.
That's why.
I'm out though.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Oh man.
Okay, Narcosis was out. I don't remember who the first name was. Who was the first name? Reefing with Ryan's out. And tanks and updates. There we go. Okay. Submit. All right, the list is in check. Okay. Okay, NATO, you're safe. All right. Okay. No more additions. The list is set. No more editing it. It just confuses it all. Okay. Lots of people want to try Zeovit. Exactly. It's a popular system. Ben Ross, welcome, Ben.
I don't know if I...
All right, so next spin for the Zeovit goodies. Dun, dun, dun. And Marine Dream. Sorry, buddy. You're out of that one. Dun, dun, dun. I love doing these wheel contests. So much fun.
I'm going to use this for my contest.
You should. It's great. Oh, Aquarium activists. Sorry, buddy. Hey, Exclusive
Dang.
Reef, welcome. I know. We need some suspense music in the background. All right. See what I can do. What's it called? Lisa's out. Okay, I'm gonna find you guys some suspense music really quickly.
Oh God.
I can't preview it, so it's gonna be completely random. I'm just gonna search for suspense. Subtle suspense. Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll see what this one is. Is that suspenseful?
Wait, is it playing on YouTube or is it?
Oh yeah, you'll just hear it on YouTube. Okay, I'll try this one.
Okay.
Let's pick.
Oh, sorry, man, you're out.
Wait, who's out?
Aslam. Sorry, I missed it.
Okay.
What are you drawing for? We are drawing for... one sec, sorry. And Joshua, sorry, you're out, buddy. We are drawing for Reefing with O is giving away a bunch of Zeovit goodies. He swapped to Aqua Forest just because it's less upkeep and time to an extent. And so he's giving away all his previous used Aqua Forest stuff. Or not, sorry, Zeovit. Relaxing. Okay, let's try different music. These are really suspenseful. Those names are misleading. Let's try this one. Feel the suspense. Yeah, this is not bad. Okay, we got potential here.
What's up, exclusive? I just saw the.
Yeah, let's go exclusive.
comment.
ADC. Slightly more suspenseful, let's see. I don't understand why are these people out. Okay, so the wheel, every time they pick somebody, we're doing process of elimination. So it's kind of last man standing. The Wheel of Doom. We could do the first person picked, but it's much more fun. Next level also draw with music.
Yeah.
Gotta keep up on the ante, man. Oh, DC.
Oh,
sorry, ma'am. Poor DC.
no.
Broke budget reef. Sorry, man. No free goodies for you.
It's funny because his name is Broke Budget.
I know. Okay. What do we got next?
See?
You guys ready for it? Suspenseful? Any hearts racing yet?
My heart's racing. It's been racing since you pulled up the wheel.
I know, right?
That's funny.
David Rail. Sorry, David. You're out, man. Briefing with O. Oh, you need the link to get back in. Let me find it. Sucks you making
I
me
love
know
and hate this wheel.
I know, me too. It's fun. Okay, I'm gonna try a different suspense track now. That one's way too short. It doesn't tell me the length when I'm previewing the ones though. It's kind of creepy. Oh, NATO. Sorry, buddy.
Dang.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Jordan 3. Sorry, buddy. Yep. Oh, yep.
I am like one spin behind my YouTube.
I know. It's that delay thing.
Yeah, it's one step yet.
Yep.
I'm watching and listening in.
Ben.
Hey, what's good, oh?
Ben reefing. Sorry, Ben. No dice, buddy.
How you doing? Yeah.
All right. Hey. It's funny all the music. I'm listening to these previews, so it just keeps swapping from track to track. So who wins? Last man standing. You're right, exclusive. The last guy on the list, or lady, whoever it is the winner. Axe murder music. I get horror music.
Oh man, it was so close to my name when Ben Reefing got out.
Yep.
All
All right.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut
Okay,
and not jinx myself.
let's spin it. Oh, can Voodoo. Sorry, Voodoo. Yeah, the music is fun. I'm gonna add music from now on. I'm gonna actually pre-select it though for the future rather than just picking random tracks. And oh, Haley. Sorry, Haley. No Zeovit for you. Poor lady.
My heart rate's at 95 beats per minute. And I'm laying down.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep. Dun, dun. Oh yeah, that first contest I did, it's like, we're doing this. Okay, what do we got? Oh, Jamie Reef Tank. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
Marine Dream, you were on the wheel, but man, you got eliminated though earlier.
Dude, this music is.
It's intense, isn't it? What's going on, DC?
What do you?
What's going on, everybody?
Ah,
I got eliminated early, so
yeah. The song's
Yeah.
join the chat.
perfect. It's actually a good song for the one that's played right now. It's like da 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 da. And
Hey,
So I hope-
ReefDudes.
Christian, sorry you're out. Hey, Seymour.
Hey, so I just got an email that I'm checking now, so it doesn't change what you're doing. But
Yes.
basically, I got someone to kick in, so the person will get everything I promised, and then 2 weeks from now, someone is going to do Zeovit Reactor. So they're going to get the used one that's included, but
Yep.
they'll get a 1.5 new Vertex reactor showing up in about 3 weeks. So,
Wow.
Wow.
so somebody
Nicely done.
emailed me, so
Wait, I didn't know you're sending off the reactor too.
Oh, yes. This is good
did you
stuff.
watch the video?
Someone's slacking on the video. You better watch it after this, just so you know. That
I
is
hope-
stepping up the ante. Nicely done.
I hope whoever wins
Appreciates this.
make a video and appreciate it and like show us
Yeah. This,
actually kind of use it, you know.
no, that is an excellent point, DC. And whoever does win, we expect a video as part of your constellation winning. And I'm gonna say that in my next video. Whoever wins has to make a video of it later, just for fun. Like, just post it, show it off, show us that goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now I'm at 34th Street trying to find a coffee shop so I can follow along.
Nice. Crank the suspense music. All right.
Time.
I
I got
love
sounds in
Times
the
Square.
background.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll go for another spin. Hey, Sean. Oh, Steve. Sorry, Steve.
Ah, Steve.
Oh, Steve. Poor guy. What was a valiant effort?
So I see Aqua TV and Reef Roscoe's Reef. I know they make videos. So
Yep.
I make vids too.
I'm pulling for Roscoe's Reef. That's my pick.
That's you're rooting for?
That's my pick. Roscoe's Reef.
All right. Okay. Next spin. Nine stick Nate. Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Oh man, he's lasted a while.
Yep. All right. Okay, next one. This one's even more intense. Let's see what we get. And oh, who's it gonna be? Oh, Royal Reefer. Sorry, buddy.
No,
I know.
That
I know.
lasted so long.
I know. Isn't it the worst when you're right to the end?
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
They did-
Oh.
Well, honestly, I don't think that a Zeovit system would fit in my shop, so I would do a video on it, and then I would have to sell it because it wouldn't fit.
That is sour grapes, my friend. Sour grapes.
Yep.
Heyo.
I mean, I could keep it for my 200, but that's like in 6 months, and I don't know if I'm going to go Zeovit on that system or not. I was thinking of going Triton on that system, but I don't know what my dad would say.
All right, you guys ready for another spin? Okay.
Did I just jinx a Roscoe's Reef? They said I jinxed Roscoe's Reef in the chat. It's such a delay. So I can't
know.
tell.
Brat Tyrell. Sorry, Brat. Oof, how did that one?
I think I have an idea of who's going to win, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because last time I said good luck to Sean and CJ's Aquarium's algae scrubber giveaway to
And you won?
engineering Aquariums. He got out.
Oh no, Royal Molina 222. Sorry there, Roy. Hold on, done wiping the tears from my face. Sorry, NATO. If I win the Powerball, plumb my house with a reef water in each room. Nice. Having everything plumbed and only one maintenance dosing would be amazing. Chris M. Sorry, Chris. Do. Okay, this music's a little more intense. Watch Bubba win, you never know. Oh, someone just jinxed Bubba. Who jinxed it? NATO? You totally jinxed that one.
Oh.
Yep. Okay, we're going to another track on that one. That's very upbeat.
Wait a minute. Is Roscoe Reef still there?
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't jinx him. So.
Nope.
I'm
Well,
going for Roscoe
you
Reef.
say something now and then watch. It's gonna be next thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a bold speaker, so I'm claiming Roscoe Reef is the winner.
Okay. All right. Okay. Spin it. Spin it to win it, or to not be eliminated. Oh,
Muhammad Ali,
5-2-3-8 George. Sorry, ma'am.
Muhammad Ali will predict what round he knocked you out in.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
He's just saving that big.
Roscoe Reef.
He's just saving that big punch for the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Roscoe Reef is my Muhammad Ali right
Yeah.
now. He's floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. What's it gonna be? Oh, Roscoe's Reef with Scott.
Oh, man.
Oh, might have jinxed
What
him.
a
Jinxed
trait.
him. That Muhammad Ali talk, you jinxed him.
I'm sorry, Roscoe Reef, man. Scott,
DC
I'm
didn't
sorry,
mean
man.
it.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
I wanted you to win because I knew you would make a video. But we still got Sabella fella. He might make a video.
Shut up,
This is
DC.
Okay, we're down to
I'm just
4.
pulling for the guy that makes the videos. I want to see.
So whoever
him actually
wins
use
has
it.
to make a video. This is a requirement. If you win it, you got to make a video showing it off and letting us know how you like it, everything. You're getting 2 reactors, which is pretty darn amazing. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm just building suspense right now, so. All right.
Double the money.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, next spin. We're getting closer to the Zeo winner. Clashy Jake. Sorry, Clashy.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go to a
Wait
new
till this
song.
left now.
Yep, down to 3.
So is Aqua TV? That's the guy that speaks in Spanish, right?
Yeah, I think
That's
he's
right.
actually not in USA, so I don't know if you can actually win Aqua TV. You're gonna have to work that out with Seymour if you do get picked.
Okay.
Yep.
But I know he has a big subscriber
US
base.
only.
Yep.
US only. I mean, I can't. This stuff we can't ship it overseas.
Mhm.
Oh, Sabella.
Oh, Sabella.
No.
Oh, Sabella fella.
That'd have been so easy for him because he lives in Staten Island.
Just walk
Yeah.
across the street.
He could,
Uh-huh.
well, across the river, the ferry.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, that sucks.
So it's Aqua TV and Innovative Aquarium.
Yep.
Yeah, Aqua's in Seattle. Papa said.
Okay.
Everybody go subscribe to the winner too.
Oh, innovative. Okay, so this is a very interesting thing. If Aqua TV technically wins, but he's not technically in the USA.
He's in Seattle.
Is he?
That's what Bubba said.
Oh, Aqua TV, I think you got it then, buddy.
Oh.
Well, congrats to Aqua
Congrats,
TV.
Aqua
Aqua
TV.
TV.
You know
So
he,
Aqua TV won.
he did.
Aqua
Yeah.
TV.
So if you're in Seattle, Aqua TV, where are you located? You
Aqua
listen.
TV in the chat.
Don't see him.
I know. He's
That's
in there.
so awesome.
Whether he's paying attention is another question.
Uh-huh.
So if Aqua TV wins,
Yeah.
tell him he can message ReefDudes his shipping info on the back end of his channel, or message me, Reefing with O. If it's not in the
Perfect.
US, then the next runner-up gets it. I hope he's in the US.
Yeah. No, apparently he is. Perfect. I wasn't 100%.
Okay,
Because I know
he is.
his channel's mainly
All right.
Spanish, but apparently he is. So, congratulations, Aqua TV. That's awesome. You just won a sweet prize. And you have a YouTube channel, so you are definitely making some good videos on this one.
Oh yeah.
So that was a really sweet prize with some extra bonus goodie thrown in, which is
Yep,
pretty
so-
sweet.
So if you look at the video, that's exactly what he'll get. And then I think 2.5 weeks from now, a new Vertex 1.5 Zeovit reactor will also get shipped directly from him. And I think it's being drop shipped from Marine Depot. So he's going to get it in a couple days since he's in Seattle.
Yeah,
Marine
nice.
Depot's on the West Coast. So,
Nice. Seattle.
congratulations.
Everybody go to Aqua TV channel
Yep.
and let him know that he won.
Yep.
Just blow up his channel. Just leave comments all over it. Say
Yeah.
you won.
Nicely
be
done,
awesome.
buddy. Nicely done. Good stuff, Aqua TV. Aqua TV, if you're in here paying attention, you're not in the chat. You are there because I can at you, but join the Hangouts just for fun. You need to get in here.
Yeah, let's talk to the winner.
Yeah.
Can we like pour Gatorade over his head like when they win the Super Bowl?
We could. Just dose the guy.
We can pour salt water over his head.
Yeah, let's pour salt water over his head.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so I'm going to throw a quick plug in for my future contest one more time, since today I've just decided we're doing a 3K contest, since I'm a few hundred subscribers away. And it's going to be for a skimmer. So keep an eye out for that video, because it's coming. And it's going to be a Somatic 60S skimmer, which is a sub-brand from Vertex, and it looks pretty darn nice, so it's going to be sweet.
What's the gallons rating on that skimmer?
I believe it was 60 to 120, but I'm going to double check that. Somatic 60S.
If I win that, it'll be an awesome skimmer to try out on my 65.
Exactly. So it says...
do you understand that the gallons rated on a skimmer is false? Everything about that is false?
It depends how heavily stocked your tank is. Okay.
I actually spoke to these guys at Reefapalooza, and they make a nice quality skimmer. Like you said, it's from Vertex, so...
Okay, it said well stocked.
I spoke to them at Reefapalooza.
Nice. Yeah, so it says well
Yeah,
on
I can.
BRS.
I can tell you from experience with the Vertex skimmers that the quality of the acrylic, like the stuff they make, is top notch.
Yeah.
You know, I just recently added a Vertex skimmer, and one of the things was I was kind of worried going from a DC pump to an AC pump.
Yeah.
Didn't see any difference in sound. It works well. It comes fully, to show you how the product is well built, it comes almost fully assembled in the box.
Nice.
So it's not like something else where you're assembling a bunch of pieces. So that's how well built it is, well packed it is, that
Yeah, so it's between
fully
40
assembled in the box.
Yeah, 40 to 120 gallons. So that's the range of it. One of my LFSs actually started stocking that brand, so I was checking out in the store the other day, and it does look pretty darn nice. So I'm curious to dig into the rest of the products a bit more, but it looks like some pretty nice gear. So check out the Somatic in the meantime, so you guys are ready for when I make a video, because it's coming. What's going on, DC?
Yeah, so John in the chat said he has that that skimmer.
Nice.
So
how you liking it, John?
Actually using it.
John Guile, Somatic skimmer. How you liking it, John? Yeah, one of the other guys, I was talking to somebody actually a week ago about one of the LFSs, and he was raving about it. Just like the quality for the price is awesome with the Somatic.
When I talked to the gentleman, the rep from Vertex, they said that they wanted to make a skimmer line for almost beginners, so they don't have to pay as much as the Omegas and the Alphas, stuff like that. So
nice. No, that's awesome.
So it's still a good quality skimmer. It doesn't have like the PVC welded, that the Omegas have and the Alphas have, but it's still a nice skimmer. Like I said, I talked to them at Reefapalooza. So
nice.
And they also have a sump. They have a sump package that go with that too.
Oh, nice. That'll be cool to check that one out later. Yeah. They actually had the skimmer and the sump in the LFS I was at a week or two ago, so I'm gonna be checking out a lot more next time I'm in there. So it's gonna be good. So DC, a couple questions from earlier. Do you change your flow at nighttime, or does it stay consistent in the day and night?
Well, I actually have it ramping down because I have the MP40s. So I think I use a lot of my own judgment. Like if I'm sleeping, I want a whole bunch of flow while I'm sleeping. So I don't think that my fish or corals do either. But to each his own, I just think that blasting it the same amount of flow 24/7, it just seems kind of redundant. It don't seem like, because the polyps are not out, so everything is kind of shriveled back. So I doubt it'll flow back.
Yeah. So I've increased mine from what it used to be. I used to be a lot lower at night. I turned off the gyre and just had the MP40s turned down, but now I'm leaving the gyre on, but still let the MP40s lower down, so it's less flow. But then Seymour, he cranks his up at night, which I thought was interesting. Complete
Oh,
opposite.
he does the opposite.
Yeah, he does complete opposite.
I got that idea. I got that idea from Jake Adams, where Jake basically has no flow during the day on one of his tanks, and then, but like I said, I get great extension out of the euphyllias. My wife loves euphyllias, and we have a side of the tank that is nothing but euphyllias. So I get great extension out of the euphyllias during the day when I have low flow, and then I crank the flow up during the night, and to like sweep up the detritus. So I think it works well for me. It's only been it's been probably a month, but I don't see any ill effects. In fact, Paul, Reef Community Worldwide, he I was showing my tank on a stream the other day, and I have 2 gyres. And he thinks I have too much flow on my tank during the day, even though I'm only running the gyres at, they're probably 30, 40%. But at night I crank them up to like 70, 60 or 70%. And, and the skimmer seems to work better at night. So I don't see any ill effects. So I think it's working. So I'll give it another month or so. We'll see what happens.
Nice. No, it's good. Keep us updated. I'm kind of curious to see about the low day, high night flow, because that's kind of the opposite of what most people do. So curious to see how that works out.
Yeah, I'm interested. Because I kind of agree with you. When I don't have no flow going on in my tank, like if I do a water change, my euphyllias are huge. They're like all puffied up, and so that's kind of interesting. Your take on it.
I wish, so I have 2 second generation gyres, XF230s with the controller. So I bought one with the controller and then bought a separate single pump. But what I don't like about the gyre controller is you can't turn one pump off. Because in a perfect world, what I would do is have one pump on for an hour, and then have the pump that's blowing towards the SPS side of the tank, put that higher than the flow, the one that, kind of change it up, turn one off. But yeah, with the gyre, you can't do that. You can't have one pump running for like an hour and then the other one off.
Are they both going through the same controller?
Yeah, you can.
But I see that software upgrade. Yeah, they both. Talking from experience, do you have the gyre controller, the gyre with the controller?
Yeah.
Do you have 2 gyros or just one there, Narcosis?
I only have one, but you have to set it in the custom. Sorry, I'm eating food at the moment.
So NATO in the chat was saying, the way I do mine is I have the manual setting that allows you to control them independently. A little bit of Reef, I have mine like that. Yeah, so you do have some potential there.
All right, so I'll look into that. If that would be great, because that'll be perfect for me. Because then the one that's blowing towards the SPS side of the tank, I can have it going higher, and I can change flow during the day, so I can have a good balance. But I still like having the euphyllias. Like the euphyllias are open. Like what DC said. Anyone who's doing a water change, turn off and you have euphyllias. Just leave the pumps not running for a few minutes and see how they just open, and then give them a little bit of flow and just watch how they dance when they're open, how they dance. So I like seeing that during the day. They're just puffy and open and fully extended. And then, so I like seeing that during the day.
I think, yeah, on my tank, I think I kind of have that, because I have all my flow is on from the one wall. Nice finger. For Peninsula style. So, and all my softies affiliate are kind of middle to the far half, so I guess it is kind of lower flow for them regardless of mine. But they always seem to be fairly puffy. But I guess they're blasting, they probably won't be quite as big.
Have you ever set your gyre up to run a custom 24-hour flow?
Lately, I've been leaving on 24-hour. It's the Jabo one. It's not the max spec one, so I don't know if I can't quite program it. I usually just leave it on one of the pulse modes.
Yeah, mixed reef is really tricky because you're trying to find like a balance, because you got a lot of people got SPS on the top, LPS in the middle, softies on the bottom. So like I'm kind of like, oh, like I kind of made my, and you too did. I made my tank. I bought the equipment for any type of corals. Like I know I'm gonna one day want to get to SPS, so I went ahead and bought MP40s.
Yeah.
I know I had 2 MP40s on a 4-foot tank. It's plenty of flow. So it's just a balancing act almost. Like it's always a seesaw battle with the flow. So I'm learning from you guys.
Yeah.
Yes and no. If you set the flow the correct way, you can have it where it is doing what the torch does, and you can have pretty high flow like I have, and still have it doing the wave, which is high flow, low impact, which I have pretty high flow, and I have softies. I got acans, I got zoanthids, I have some zoanthids that do not like high flow, but I do have them in high flow, low impact, and they're just as big as anything.
I think the bigger differentiate too is having broad flow versus targeted flow. Because if you're pumping, 1,000 gallons per gallon versus a little output, it's going to be a ton of flow. Like I know some of the tunesies and stuff, those little nozzles, like they're really directing it. Where an MP40 or a gyre is more of a broad flow, so it's not quite blasting it as much. So I think you can have the higher volume with the lower impact or direct flow. I don't know the best way to say it, but having the broad flow is one of the bigger things to do it if you want to crank it up. And for me, that's a big thing for me, right? Because I only have my flow coming from one end of the tank, and I'm pushing it 5.5 feet to the other end of the tank. So I need to push a lot of volume, but I can't have it destroying my corals. So I'm with you on that one.
I've been playing with my flow forever. Sometimes I put the MP40s on the side of the glass. Sometimes I put on the back of the glass for aesthetics purposes. I just been I'm no expert, so I just been playing with it just to see what I like. Because also you gotta think about your rock work, how's that set up, and how the flow hit the rock work. So I hear what you're saying, Narcosis. I don't think it's a right way. I think I just been using the eye test and see what my coral's like, and that's how I'm gonna go about it.
Nice.
Yeah, which is true. Somebody's killing me. So basically, what I did was I set it up on custom mode. So I have my gyre on the custom mode, running 6 different settings throughout the day, and I have it doing really short pulses, like starting in the beginning of the day, it does really small pulses. Then it does really heavy, big pulses. So it'll go from 0 to 70, 0 to 70 within 1.5 seconds. So it'll hit it, boom, boom, boom. Then after that, I have it going medium pulses for 4 or 5 hours.
I think the other big thing too, at least for on a longer tank, is the pulse duration, right? Because if you have a very short duration and you find that sweet spot, you can get waves going to rock your entire tank. Like you'll get the whole thing rocking, or versus a long one where it's a very slow mini one. So
yeah, I think CJ on CJ streets, I was trying to figure out what was the pulse. And CJ, I think on CJ has a 4-foot tank. And one night, I think on one of his live streams, he mentioned that you have to pulse. I think 0.8, 0.9 gives me a standing wave in my tank. But I basically have mine programmed similar to what Narcosis has. I think with the gyre, you can program up to a whole bunch of. So I have flow changing every 2 hours throughout the day. And I know you can turn it off when you have one pump. But I think when you have 2 pumps, I've tried this. I've messed with that controller for hours. I don't think you can turn one pump off and then have the other one working with the controller. But I'm gonna try it tonight when I get home. But I don't think the gyre offers that function. But you can program as many. The gyro controller is no joke. It's really kind of difficult. I think they could have done a better job of making it simple. It's not. It's not. But yeah, I'll check it out
MP40
later.
is simple.
So
yeah, so easy. I do give that to Ecotech. They're extremely easy to program their lights and stuff through the EcoSmart Live. Anyway, sorry.
So with the gyre, most of my settings are all on 0.4 seconds. So most of them is like faster pulse, which is creating waves, which is kind of creating little mini waves, which kind of crash into each other and kind of makes that rocking.
Mm-hmm.
I like the gyro. Don't get me wrong. I think they have its advantages over the Ecotech Vortex, but I don't know. I like having everything no wires in the tank, and it's just a cleaner, easier pump to
Which
work
one?
with. The MP40. Ecotech.
So sorry for the background noise. The thing for me about the Ecotech, the MP40 is you can't aim them. So depending on how you have to be very careful when you're doing your rock work with the MP40 because you can't aim them. I like the gyre. If you have the gyre sized correctly and positioned correctly, you basically send out pulses in front of and behind your rock. But the MP40, because it's static, it does send out a wide flow. But because it's a static pump that stays there, you can't aim it. You just but if you plan it out properly, I'm pretty sure you can get it done correctly.
What I did with mine is I butted them almost up at the glass in the front and back, so they just go around all the rock work. But they're fairly wide, which works well.
They don't go up to the roof to clean it, do they? They just do it through the kitchen.
All right.
I believe so, yeah.
And I will tell you about the gyres, man.
Sorry about that, guys.
In my 6 years of reefing, I've used Hydors, Tunsies, gyres, MP40s, Ecotech pumps. The gyres are affected by algae and coralline algae more than any pump I've seen ever. Like as soon as so you have to be if you're somebody who doesn't maintenance or doesn't want to at least soak your pump in vinegar overnight once every 2 or 3 months, don't get a gyre. I don't think so.
See, that's a lot.
Vortex and MP.
That's a lot. Who wants to? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't have to clean my MP40. And I'm not doing the MP40 versus gyro, but a lot of people just want to maybe clean their pumps twice a year, maybe to clean it every 2 months. Man, that's a lot, man.
A lot of work.
You don't have to break it down and do a full cleaning every 2 months, but at least give it a vinegar dip for a couple hours and then put it back in the tank and the algae will fall off. But I was using a pump for about 9 months, 8 or 9 months. Let's say between 7 and 9 months, uncleaned, and I had to run it at 70%. After cleaning it, and I had to run it at 20% because it was pushing water out of the tank. So that's the difference, running it at 70 versus 20. So the gyre,
I think I seen somebody's. I can't remember who it was. They had a gyre and it was full of bubble algae. I mean, it was bubble algae all through the thing. And I'm like, how the heck did bubble algae get in the gyre like that? And I guess the person just didn't clean it. But like I said, I don't expect to clean a pump every 2 months. Like I said, that's adding to the maintenance. I don't know, it's too much.
Honestly, I like having the mix. I like having both the Ecotech and the gyro because you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, and you're getting different types of flow. But I'm special case though, because I refuse to put equipment on the far end of my tank, right? So it's only one wall, and I have to go the distance. So I like having the mix. I think it kind of complements each other to an extent.
Okay, nice. That's nice.
Well, here is something that you could do with the MP40s: is put one on each side, or put them on the back wall, and kind of have them like fighting each other with the flow, you know, like going back and forth.
So it crashes into each other?
Like, you know, well, either like crash into each other, or like one comes on like 70%, the other one comes on 30%, and then have it switched where so like it's kind of like fighting each other, you know. It's kind of like,
yeah, well,
like a swing, you know, like it's going back and forth, you know, kind of like rocking back and forth, something like that.
I think having pumps collide too is going to make them smash into each other and kind of randomize the flow more. So I think that's a good way to do it as well.
Yeah,
I think that's they call that type of flow like the dishwasher effect, where the flow is so like they crashing into each other.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but pretty much what I'm saying is both of the pumps are like pushing and pulling against each other. So it's kind of like, you know, making the like back and forth type flow.
That
like,
way you'll get more of the tank rocking.
You know, yeah, yeah, like that.
Hey, Dev, a few of the guys couldn't get in on that link, so I was just checking it.
Yeah, let's try again. So, okay, there's that one. And do I
Nick's having problems with that.
Nick always has issues getting in. Can I invite him in?
He asked if you could send him a message, send him the link in a message. I don't know if it'd be any different, but...
Here, I'll try that one.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to Facebook it to you, Nick.
It's probably his phone.
Is now
that's the same link.
Nick is in Manchester. Tell him, Liverpool people, we won today, so they're blocking the Manchester people from joining the call.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so Ben in the chat was saying having flow into each other is the best way to make random flow. Sorry. And then Tim, what were you just asking? Sorry. Got cut off there.
I've been having a serious fish dying problem. I've just set up this 10-gallon nano tank. Corals are doing great. Corals are fantastic. I am so happy with my corals. But fish are dying on me left and right. I started off with fire fish. It was doing fine for about a week. Then I did a water change, and then started having panic attacks, and I eventually had a heart attack.
You did or they did?
Nearly both of us.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe a dartfish isn't such a good idea because I don't know how much Xanax to dose to the aquarium. So I'm just going to go with a hardier fish. I get a clown. I get a nice, beautiful Picasso percola, which I was on here a couple of weeks ago asking, you know, is this normal? Because he seems like he's freaking out now. Like he's just spending his whole time chasing after his reflection or just hiding in a corner. And he, you had advised at the time, you know, that's totally normal. Just wait it out. And he did start eating after about the third day. He started eating a little bit, but then on the fourth or fifth day, he just died. I woke up in the morning, he was dead.
Now, was there any like parasite looking things? Like, did they have spots or cloudy eyes or anything like that?
I tried to do a little postmortem. I actually was a assistant coroner for a while, so I'm used to doing postmortems on things, and I couldn't tell from my novice point of view. You know, I didn't actually do an autopsy, cutting him up, but from my novice point of view, he seemed completely normal. Like there was no spots, there was no fin rot, there was no redness around the gills or anything like that. Things.
All right, let's just start off with the basics. What is the salinity of the tank? Temperature.
We're not even finished yet because at the time, like I'm freaking out. Like, what the hell? This is now the second fish that's died on me mysteriously. So I did all the water tests, and suddenly my ammonia had spiked up. So I figured that this was either the problem, the cause, or it was because he had spent the whole night decaying in my tank. So I let the ammonia come down. I spent a whole week without any fish in the tank. I'm still feeding the coral, but I'm letting the ammonia come down, and I'm redosing with the Red Sea Bacto, whatever it is, the Red Sea bacteria, to just give it more ammonia-eating bacteria. And things came.
You can detoxify the ammonia, though.
I did not do that, but I did got some detoxifier.
You can detoxify ammonia and nitrite.
I wanted to let the ammonia bacteria eat up that ammonia, so it was doing it. Like I thought I was doing the right thing, and then
sometimes ammonia can be too high and it can kill the bacteria as well.
I got a Senai to make sure that I could keep an eye on that, and it's great. It tells me about this. So
that's a good idea.
It got down to 0.01. Let me double check this. Yeah, 0.01. It. I was on the another one of these. I think it was Rico's chat. And people were saying, at this point you should probably just put fish in there and let the bacteria eat the ammonia that's being generated normally. And that seemed like a good idea to me because it had stayed at this 0.01. So I thought maybe the Senai was just like, maybe it was off, like the apex, all of its probes are way the hell off. So I figured, okay, maybe this Senai is also a little off because 0.01 is not very much. And we're talking parts, we're talking just NH3, right? That's ammonia, not the ammonium. Like pure ammonia is 0.01. That seems good. Let's throw fish in here. So this time I'm doing the buddy system. I got 2 clowns and it seems great. Like everything is going so well for several days. Like these guys were great. The buddy system totally worked. They weren't freaking out. They were eating like immediately. They were eating like champs yesterday. And this morning I wake up and they're both dead. And the ammonium did not creep up too high. The highest it's gotten was at 0.02 ammonia.
What was your nitrates and some of your other parameters?
Nitrates have not gotten above 4. Nitrite is at 0.052 parts per million.
That's still pretty low. Temperature, salinity.
Temperature.
If I remember though, it's not a huge tank that you have, right?
Sounds like it's something wrong with the basics. Temperature, salinity.
The salinity is 1.025. The temperature is staying really close to around 78. I've got the Apex 2016. Like I went into this expecting this to be a challenge, so I wanted to get all the technology to make sure I was going to have as easy a time as possible. But
pH
is staying pretty steady between 7.9 and 8.
And there is no fluctuation, no drops.
Nothing dramatic. I mean, it varies throughout the day, but it never goes below like 7 point. I think the lowest it's been recently was like 7.8 something.
7.8 is fine.
So what size tank is it? Because it's not a huge tank, is it yours?
No, it's a 10 gallon with 8.
Yeah, because like for me personally, I just do a big water change.
But that's
because you're only 10 gallons. If you try and rebalance parameters, you're going to be like seesawing left, right, and center with a small system like that.
Well, that are having problems.
Yeah, but there's going to be something in like, okay, there's got to be something there, right? Because fish don't just die.
Right.
So by doing a big water change, you're diluting whatever it is, and you're not going to affect your parameters drastically.
Well, Tim, how big of water changes are you doing on that 10-gallon tank?
I was doing 25% before the second fish died, and at that point I was like, you know what, maybe I'm taking out too much good stuff. So I've pared that down to 5% water change.
No, there's no good bacteria in water. It's all in the surface areas.
It's on your rocks, your
but
sand.
you can do. Yeah, you can do 2 big water.
Other people put forth the idea that in the water column you'll have the ammonia-eating bacteria and
very minimal in the water. It's all
the majority of it is in your sand, rocks, and whatever biological filtration you have in your filtration area.
What filtration do you have, Tim, in there?
I've got a really deep 2 to 3 inch sound bed.
You got a sand bed.
Rock, and about 12 of those marine pure ball sphere things that I cut in half to put in the media basket as well as underneath the skimmer.
And how long has the tank been running for?
About a month and a half now.
Okay.
Have you cut your nails lately?
I did on Sunday.
Stick your hand in the water and see if you feel some kind of tingling.
I got a one of those Vertex ground probes.
Yeah, you got ground probes on yours. I'm just wondering, Tim. You know, you said you got a deep sandbed. Do you maintain? How did you set the sandbed up?
I just threw a whole bunch of Rega Live.
Yeah. How deep is the sandbed?
About 3 inches.
Yeah, because deep sand beds, it's like an animal in itself. You have to layer it up with sand beds because you can get toxins building up within the sand itself.
Do you think it'd build up that quick though, like within 6 weeks?
Yeah, because it sounds like you were saying, the fish were eating really well, and his ammonia had spiked up to 2. So in the deep sand bed, yeah, you have to be careful with deep sand beds. Is it how your deep sand bed? Is it just in the tank itself, or is it in a rear chamber, or
just in the tank?
Yeah, I personally wouldn't recommend to do it that way, because if you have a deep sand bed in a sump, then you have a very low contact time in that, and that's why generally people don't use them so much nowadays, because we have a high sump turnover. But if you put the deep sand bed in the actual tank, that's more difficult to manage. Asa will probably be able to explain this better. He's like the deep sand bed expert.
But does this actually look too deep?
No, that's normal. Me personally, I don't believe that deep sand bed, after only being set up for a month and a half, is killing anything, unless you're stirring it rapidly, like every day.
To me, it seems too new for anything to build up. I mean,
yeah.
Unless there's something else.
Didn't you say the fish was decomposing in there?
There was one, but I pulled him out. Like he had got pulled up towards the return, and he just kind of rotted there. And this morning, one of the clams was being gobbled up by a hermit and a snail, but I got those out, so there wasn't like enough time for them to leave body parts behind in the sand.
Hey Tim, I just listened. I listened to your whole story, Tim. But let me ask you: are the fish you put in? Do you consider them hardy?
I'm a novice, so I was given the impression that clownfish were relatively hardy.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, because I did something similar to what you did with the school tank. I actually started the cycle with a raw piece of shrimp. That was like my first time doing that, and that kind of decayed and sunk up the joint. And then I dosed it with bacteria in a bottle, waited another week or half, and then I put my fish in. So I don't really have any answers for you. It don't seem like you did anything wrong, per se. But I was just listening to you, trying to compare it to my experience, and I kind of did exactly what you did when I set up the school tank. So I just wish you all the best of luck, Tim. And I wish I had some answers for you.
It might be, Tim, it might be worth adding some like nitrifying bacteria, like Dr. Tim's or ATM colony or one of those to your tank, just to build up that good bacteria colony in case it is something that's, maybe it died off for some reason or had a mini cycle or some reason that you're not having a solid bacteria population.
Right. That's exactly what I've been doing for like the last 1.5 weeks now. I've been dosing like 2 mils or so of the Red Sea bacteria. But yeah, maybe that stuff's not good. It seemed good on the first fish because there was no ammonia problems at all, but now it's constantly in flux, so maybe that isn't good. Now,
the other thing as well, Tim, with the bacteria as well, is because I've used the bottle bacteria for over 2 years now in my business. When you add it, you need to be adding enough for the tank volume rather than dosing a little bit and a little bit. Because it's like, you imagine it as like an army, it's better sending the whole army. Yeah. I don't know about the Red Sea one. I don't really use Red Sea products, to be honest.
Something else.
So I can't advise you on that.
You need to feed the bacteria. So if you just add that bottle of bacteria and you don't feeding anything, it's going to die off, and then it's going to eat itself.
The coral, like,
okay, so you are.
Pumpkins and
everything. So you are feeding it. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah,
but I'll be honest with you, Tim. It's the quick fix for me. I've just done it in my system. I just did like a 40% natural seawater change because I want to balance it, get a good base rate for running Triton now. And I've just cycled my tank's been running about 6 weeks now. I'll be honest. For me, I'm not a big fan of doing water changes for maintenance. But in a situation like this, on a 10-gallon tank, I think that'd be a quick fix for you, because whatever's in there, you're just going to dilute it and you're going to reset it.
Way more people are telling me leave the tank alone. Don't do water changes because you need the bacteria to eat all the ammonia that's in there.
No, that's wrong. I'll be honest with you, that's wrong.
Bacteria lives on the surface, not in the water columns.
There's some in the water, but it's very minimal. It's your rocks, your sand, your
but I mean,
bioballs in the back.
I don't want to change it now where there's currently 0.02 ammonia in there because I want
it won't
to be eaten up by the current bacteria population.
No, your water change, it won't affect your bacterial levels. It's like the other thing with this as well, Tim. This is what I do for my business. You know, I've been doing this like 9 years as a company, and I'm not putting that out there as if like, you know, listen to me. It's just that I set up tanks week in, week out, month in, month out, and I maintain systems. I troubleshoot systems all the time. And in certain situations, because you've got a small tank, because it's already cycled, because you've got the bacteria there. For me personally, your bacteria is safe. You've got deep sand bed, you've got the media in there, so you've got plenty of surface areas in there already that's going to be established. Whatever is causing the issue is one or two things. It's either the fish themselves, or it's something in the water. Right. So if you're confident that the fish were healthy, there was no gill flukes, no Bruckinella, you know, none of those types of diseases or parasitic pathogens, then the only other thing it can be the water. You're not going to, by doing a water change, you're not going to hinder the tank. You're not going to set the tank back at all, because you've already established the bacteria foundation in the media. So these guys that are telling you that you're going to take too much good stuff out, I'll be honest with you, they don't know what they're talking about.
That seems to be a very high possibility, because it's crazy. You know, you ask 12 people, you get 12 different answers in this hobby. Like my LFS was trying to tell me, like I called them up this morning trying to figure out what's going on. Why these fish that you sold me just die in my tank? Like, and I gave them the backstory too, and they said stray voltage. But
no, you got a vertex probe.
Yeah. Now, just to completely eliminate that, if I was like, I'm actually thinking about taking a voltmeter to do the tests tonight, but if I did have stray voltage running around in here, wouldn't it kill the snails and the crab?
No. Yeah, I mean,
no.
Stray voltage, it's a bit of a misnomer. If I put my fingernails into my tank, I'll get a tingle. I know I will. It's not. Sometimes, like, you got to remember that in this hobby, we're all hobbyists. We're very passionate about our hobby, and sometimes companies make money off selling products that you'd be scared not to buy. But in my experience and the amount of systems I've run, very rarely have I used ground probes. You know.
Yeah, I've never used one.
Yeah, it's to an extent, you know, certain things. If I've got a customer that has like clarion angels, candy basslets, you know, like $10,000 fish. His tank, I'd put a ground probe on it, you know. But generally, no, I wouldn't use them. But I'm not saying that you've wasted your money. You know, it's going to do a job. But I would say your situation is down to one or two things: the fish themselves or the water. I don't think your water can be that bad, because your snails are still alive. Have you got any inverts in there, Tim?
I've got about 6 snails, or maybe 8 snails. I haven't count them out.
Have you got any shrimps or crabs? You got crabs. You got some inverts. Yeah. So if they're still alive, then you know it's nothing major because they're quite sensitive as well. So inverts are quite sensitive to things like copper and things like that.
Tank and show us the surface agitation?
Yeah. If I can, it's really blue. Let me turn on the white light. I've actually got a setting for that here.
So, yeah.
Let me see what you're seeing.
Okay, it locked on your screen.
Is that tank an innovative marine, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh shit! I just turned off the return while I was switching it to white. Hold on. That's not helpful.
See, the innovative marines, they got the rear jets, which normally they kind of agitate the surface anyway, unless you point them all the way down.
Does that give you a general idea?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you got decent flow.
Yeah, that's fine.
And like seriously, I want to point out here, I got really healthy looking monophora there, and Duncan's like the water is good.
Yeah. Honest, the flip side is, I mean, you could have got a fish with like fluke or brook or something, one of those fast hitting diseases, and it could have just infected the other ones, right?
Yeah, that's possible.
I've got 2 clowns at the moment, Tim, that one of them swimming in the corner, and I think he's got a bit of gill fluke. But 3 days ago, he was eating, swimming just fine.
It was amazing,
So I'm gonna,
just like how happy I was yesterday when I had just gotten a batch of corals and I threw them in there. And I've got all this color in here, and I've got super happy clowns, and they're swimming around. They're eating up everything that I throw at them.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, I wake up and they're both dead. Like, what wiped out both of them last night?
Yeah.
Okay, Tim.
That's
a quick tip of suggestion: get as your next fish. Don't spend a bunch of money on your next fish because you just want to make sure that they don't die. So get a damsel or a chromis.
Yeah, that's a good.
I
recommend
would recommend a green chromis because they're one of my favorite fish, and they're amazing, active, and they'll like do everything that a clown will do except host of an anemone. If that guy lives for more than a month or say, just have that one fish for about a month. Test it out. He lives, then I will say you can catch him, trade him in, and get some clowns, or keep them, or do whatever. But I would get a cheap, hardy fish. I had proven that chromises are hardy, and just test that out because you want to. I'm pretty sure you don't want to buy a fish like a $30-$40 fish, and it'll end up dying the next day or so. That sucks because I just lost a tang, and I'm like really bummed out. But yeah, and
I have to agree with Royal Reef. I just started the school tank, and I was not going to put any expensive fish to start with. And I know damsels, they could be mean and all this stuff, but I took my chances because I'll just tear the tank up and catch them if it's going to be that much of a problem. But spend $3, spend $3 on fish, and they die. I wouldn't be so hurt.
Right.
Spending.
Honestly,
and then
I'm actually more hurt emotionally just from that experience of being like, oh my god, they're alive and happy, and my tank looks great and colorful.
Oh, it's depressing.
Yeah, that hurts way more than the price tag.
Yeah.
Hey Tim, welcome to reefing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've spent about $1,000 already, and all that's the total of all the fish I've gotten that have died.
Yikes! Your poor fish.
And it's not my money; it's my dad's money too. So it's like I'm not allowed to have any more tanks because my last tank I just had this morning before I went to school, he was happy. I hand fed him a piece of an algae sheet. He ate it all. I got home today after school, like around 2:30. He was dead, and I'm like, no. It was a gold rim tang, so I was kind of iffy when I got him. But what's weird is I have him in quarantine, and I have a 2-week quarantine program for all my fish, and I have them with a snowflake clown and an anthias. I honestly thought the anthias would go, not the tang, but yet again, they're both kind of sensitive. But I checked everything: ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. It was all 0. Only had a little bit of nitrate, but salinity I run 1.023 in that tank. Temperature 78. And my pH was at 8, and tangs. I'm not the best of luck with tangs. But every other fish, it's like I'm okay with, but the ones I want to keep, it's like no.
See, I've only had one fish mysteriously die. I've had a few disappear, but only one ever found a dead fish once on my sand bed, which I have no idea why.
You're doing better than me.
Completely happy.
You're doing better than me, Dad.
But I've had a couple disappear though. Like overly
you had a
priced...
heart attack there, but how smiley you are.
Maybe. But no, but I did have like a couple. Like I had the blue spotted jawfish, which was an awesome fish, but he just disappeared one day.
Oh,
Never
nice.
saw him again.
Wow.
No idea what happened. Jumped out and the dog had a
That's an
snack or
expensive
bit the
fish.
dust and got eaten.
Maybe.
I have no idea. But yeah, it sucks.
The only thing
I
I'm
think
regretting
I
about
lost
having
fish. I think I've lost fish every kind of way you could lose a fish. From jumping, I'm serious.
Well, the catfished
From
one out.
I have
from
had
jumping out the tank to getting ate by another fish to ick to I killed fish in so many different ways. It's amazing. It's amazing I'm still in the hobby, but
God.
I tell people all the time that this hobby is for the tough skin. Like you really gotta,
Yeah.
you know,
And you gotta have
really
a lot of
be
money,
little,
have a great paying job.
that part is not true because I have neither one of those.
Oh.
But I love the hobby so much. I just endure it, and I know I kind of learned the wrong way, like learn from my mistakes. You know, I killed a lot of fish, but I learned. Okay, let me just stick to one LFS that I know do quarantining. You know, they might cost a little bit more, but I know their process. You know, so I don't. Keeps me doing impulse buys now. Like I could go to another LFS and see a fish that I truly love, but I'm like, okay, nah.
You are
QT
super lucky
process.
to have an LFS that does that. I've only got one in the area that will even claim to do quarantines. I don't even know if they do, but they only carry ultra high-end fish, like the rarest of the rare, and like getting a couple of clowns from them is just not even an option unless you want like those $900 ultra designer ones.
Yikes.
Wow.
I like those ones.
My expensive fish I have right now, my 65 is my midnight clown. Cost me $60.
Midnight clowns. They're nice.
Yeah, and I have his or her mate in the quarantine tank as we speak. The snowflake.
What's funny, Tim, that I just totally contradicted myself because I say I just got some fish from Pepco, but actually this Pepco is a newer store, and their selection is pretty nice. But like I said, I usually go if for my tank, I usually go to one LFS. They won't even release the fish if it's not eaten and it has disease or something. Like they have a reputation of we only sell, you know, fish, and they might cost about $5 or $10 more. But hey, I'll pay that. You know, I'm gonna pay it anyway if I set up a QT tank at my house. So
yeah, like I don't know how I don't get it. Like my dad gets it. Like we have this one fish store called Fishland. They QT all their fish that come in, and they won't sell you a fish that they only had it for a few days. Him being smart buys his fish from there. All fish lived. Me being stupid and wanting always wanting an expensive fish buys it from a store that, you know, they say that they QT their fish, but they get a lot of people in and they just sell. So me, I wanting to buy from them, and I'm honestly done buying fish from them. I'll buy corals and stuff, but fish I'm gonna get from Fishland, which is where my dad gets his fish.
Hey Rory, you know when you get your fish, do you ask them like how they medicate them and stuff like that when they get them? Do you ask them what they use to medicate and stuff?
So Fishland, what they do is they run their tanks they run like a hyposalinity and they dose copper, but their hyposalinity
but that's
is at 1.018.
That's water treat. Yeah, but what about medications? What about like dewormers and like fluke medicines and stuff like that?
I don't know about that. But
yeah, that's a good. What I'm saying is that's a good question because if you ask the shop, what medication do you give the fish? If they say we deworm them and we treat them for flukes and parasites as well, and yeah, they might run background copper and they might hyposalinity the fish, but if they medicate, then that's when you know that you've got a good shop because they actually understand the veterinary medications for fish as well.
See, and I quarantine all fish. I don't care if I get them from that store or anywhere else. I quarantine them all, and I run Pazzi Pro, which, you know, is for internal parasites, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what friend told me, he actually recommended it when he dropped off some fish for me. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. Like, I'm going to use this, integrate this into my quarantine process. And that's what I use whenever I get new fish. So I
think the problem is with when as a hobbyist, when you go to the shops to buy fish, if you've never been involved with importing fish, it's things like, the way the fish are imported is really important as well. Like with ammonia, if they don't use ammonia binder when they're importing, so the fish get an ammonia burn, that fish can take a week and a half to die. But even though it's in the tank and it's eating and it looks okay, it's already dead because it's just slowly going to suffocate. Because what happens is the gills swell up and then they can't breathe. So after a week, maybe a week and a half, they'll die. So if you haven't got a store that's going to hold the fish for a week, and they just sell after a few days, you won't know. You won't know that the damage is already done.
I think that is what killed my gold rim tank. Like, so I have a picture of it. I can put it in the Hangouts chat. His gills were like red. Like it's like it was like bloodshot or something like that.
Yeah, that can be a sign of ammonia burn, because they're trying to get the we used to import and distribute in the UK as well, and we had a bad shipper sent us about 60 yellow tanks, and over a course of a week and a half they all died.
Hey Narcosis, can you mute it there? You're really loud, rustling around.
I am. I've got to go make dinner, but I wanted to thank you guys very much for all the advice. Like seriously, I really do appreciate it. Even if I don't take all of it, I'm taking it all on board.
Yeah, no worries, Tim. But seriously, don't be afraid of doing that water change.
Yeah, I will definitely be a little more aggressive on the water changing.
Yeah, I mean, not like for maintenance, but just for this to reset your system. I'd maybe just a big water change, but then weekly, maybe just about 10%.
See, Tim, I have a 13 gallon, similar to a 10. I do 2 gallons a week, and I don't know what the percentage is on that, but that does great. And I have a clam in there, and a mangrove, and a starfish too. So, the starfish are pretty sensitive.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do. My name Royal Reefer.
Cool. I will check you out. Thank you very much, guys. I gotta go.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Good luck.
Me, I don't acclimate any fish. I don't quarantine any fish. I just pop and drop them in my tank, and they survive.
You don't acclimate.
I won't be taking that advice.
Nope.
I don't know if I could do that.
I acclimate. I have not quarantined, but I will sit there for like half an hour and watch a fish before I buy it to make sure it looks like, make sure there's no red flags. And if there is,
hey Dave, you know what's weird? Dave, you know what's weird though? I once went into a shop and there was these two German guys, and they were professors in marine biology. And they actually said to me that you have to balance your acclimating of your fish, because you have to have a balance between whether you're stressing the fish out too much by acclimatizing them, or whether it's better to do what Narcosis just said and just pop them in.
I agree to an extent, because I think moving them around
and that's
and stuff,
the weird
you're stressing
thing.
them out.
Yeah.
And stress is what causes
they
a
were
lot
saying,
of diseases.
They were saying the same thing as Narcosis. In their opinion, it's better just to put them in.
Yeah.
Because getting them into a environment that's natural to them, they will overcome like the changes of temperature and everything else. The only exception to the rule though was like inverts and stuff like that. You have to be careful with the inverts. Well, fish, they were saying, nah, just throw them in, because they'll settle quicker being in the environment rather than in a white bucket, for an hour while you drip it.
Yeah.
So.
See, I half agree. I still will drip it and make sure the water, like salinity, I don't test pH, but I'll like, I won't dip for hours, but drip, but I'll do it over like 20 minutes probably. Like I'll mix a bit of tank water in, and a bit later I'll mix a bit more in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
on Dev's side a little bit. I have, sorry, wrasse, and they're kind of sensitive fish. And what I did was I dripped them for about an hour, but I did it at night, so all the lights was off, all the fish were sleep or whatever. So when I added them in, they didn't worry about getting chased or anything like that. So
yeah,
but I agree with the whole they could get stressed if they in the bucket too long or whatever. But I reduced the stress level by adding them at night. That way, when they come into the tank, they won't get bullied. You know, as soon as they come in the tank.
Yeah. No, that's a good procedure actually, DC, because for tangs as well, that's especially a good procedure. Or if you've got an aggressive tank that bullies any fish going into that tank, you know, do it at night time. I like the acclimation pods as well. You know, like I think Rico's got one. It's like a big box that you put the fish in, so it's in the tank but not in the tank. I like those as well because it gives a chance, especially if you got aggressive tangs and stuff. You get a chance to see whether it's actually worth putting the fish in at all. If a tank comes up and tries to bully it through that for 3 days, then you might as well take it back to the store.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's good to quarantine to prevent diseases and other stuff, but not saying that you should do what I do. But so far, I have been very lucky with my stare at the fish and observe it for like half an hour before I commit to it. And if you see anything in the tank that looks sick or anything else, say, nope, don't do it. Come back another day or weeks later, go to another store and just don't buy anything there. That's been my strategy, and so far I have not had any issues.
So yeah, I always recommend putting a deposit on the fish or buying the fish and coming back a week later.
Yeah, I've done that too, actually. Yeah.
Good shops will
exactly
do that
what
for
I
you.
do.
I got my leopard wrasse 2 weeks ago, and I haven't picked them up yet.
There you go.
Good.
I got to get on that
So
soon.
the fish has been fattening up for you.
Yeah, letting them fatten up, make sure he's still kicking.
A lot of people say they don't eat. You know, it's hard for them to eat, but my other.
Oh, you're cutting out there, DC.
I mean, my leopard wrasse actually aggressively eats. Like, it's not like they wait for it to come. They go to the top of the surface and they don't play around. Like, they don't take no crap. So it's a good thing that
oh, you're super choppy.
Deposit, and then when they get it to eating and feeding and stuff, then you pay the other 50%.
Yeah, I tell you what, DC, I think you've got a good shop there. You know, I think you've got a good shop that does things right. We need more shops like that. You know. Yeah, for sure. But no, I think they've to do it right by the sounds of it. I don't blame you for not going anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I do get tempted. I mean, because that LFS doesn't have everything. But if I order something, they make sure they QT it and make sure it's eating right before they even sell me the other 50%, which is good because they have some leopard wrasse, but they didn't charge me or anything like that.
Thanks.
Okay.
See, this is where, you know, like we say that with reefing, it's patience, right? And nothing good comes quick and things like that. But for me, with like stocking a tank, I don't wait. I want to get life into the tank, and I do it safely with bacteria and stuff like that. But like DC's just said about, and you're doing as well, Dev, where you bought the fish 2 weeks ago, but you're not in a rush. You know, the shop's going to quarantine it. They're going to make sure it's feeding for you. It's going to be well rested. That's where I'd say it's good to have the patience, definitely.
Yep, but yeah, see you later, Brett. But yeah, no, one of the biggest things, honestly, is just
the tank full of fish.
Watch the fish for a while. Like, make sure there's no spots. Make sure the eyes aren't cloudy. Make sure it's happy and not rubbing up against rocks. Make sure it's not, chasing its reflection and stressed out against the glass. Like, all these little things add up. You just gotta make sure it looks normal and happy and active. And I think all those things go a long way to preventative, right? Just making sure you're having the best fish you can to start with.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Deb, can you give us a teaser? Which leopard wrasse did you get?
Oh, no, I got the black and white one with the orange hair. It's on my Instagram. I'll find a photo of the actual fish.
Awesome. So the actual black spotted leopard wrasse?
Yeah. I think it was your video, actually, where I saw it, and then I wanted one after that.
Awesome.
I'm blaming you, DC.
Yeah,
I'm certain it was your video.
I need some more fish, but I don't know what to get.
Yeah. So this is the actual one that I'm picking up. If you're watching the YouTube. So he's got like the black and white kind of spots, and he has like the orangey red kind of trim around his fins in the body.
Yeah.
So he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
My YouTube is still delayed.
I got 3 leopard rats, but the bigger one changed colors.
Oh really?
So he started off as a black spotted leopard rat, and then he got real fat, and now he's like a greenish, bluish leopard rat. Like it's weird. I was looking at him the other day, like, man, you sure have changed here. So yeah,
crazy.
I still can't believe Tim asked all those people and everybody was telling him not to water change because you'd take all the good stuff out.
You could never, water changes never hurt. The only way you're going to hurt
like,
your system doing a water change, if there's like a giant swing in elk or pH or something, that's the only time it's an issue. Or you got a bad
batch of salt or something.
Yeah, could be that
which
too.
Which is rare.
Yeah, but like if you have a ton of coral and you keep an elk of 7 or 8 and your elk, you're doing a water change of 11 and you do like a 60-80% water change, then that could cause an issue, right? It could be a big elk spike and it'll hurt your corals. But other than like a giant pH swing from doing like a massive water change, the fish, everything, it's not going to hurt your system. Honestly,
yeah, but I mean, you can check your water before you change it, right? Your fresh water, you can make sure it's right.
Yeah,
you know,
I've never tested
equal
it.
before you change it as well.
Yeah,
I just did a natural seawater change and I tested everything and it was all spot on. My corals all went, ooh, nice.
Right there, though.
Natural seawater?
Whoever checks the freshly mixed water, do you ever test it?
You should do.
Should, but no.
I do. The thing is, though, I'm used to looking after lots of lots of fish. So you want to, because you imagine if they all died, you'd be out of pocket a lot. But yeah, you should test. You should test your fresh water mix before mixing it for sure.
But you know what? That leans me more to the Triton methods, and because I don't want to. Actually, I don't want to do that, but I don't want to have to do that every week when I change water like this. To do all those.
Yeah,
tests
and I mean, some people it's like for me, I'm busy all the time, so I'm going to be using Triton on the office system, and that's why I did the water change to get a good baseline ready for Triton. But there's some people in the hobby that, the hobby for them is as much tinkering and testing as it is watching the fish. They love doing all that stuff.
Who would do that?
So yeah, honestly, like when Triton first came to the UK, there's people complaining because there wasn't enough. Even Paul at Reef Community Worldwide, when he went on to Triton, and he was complaining to me because he said, Nick, this is too easy. I feel like I'm neglecting my tank, but the tank looks fantastic, but I'm not doing anything. I said, well, go make your own food then.
That's funny.
Go make your own food.
I go back and forth. Like, I'll be a slacker and not test for a few weeks, and I'll turn like mad scientist mode and get everything out and retest everything and get a new baseline. I kind of.
That's why I think you Triton wouldn't suit you. I don't think that it'd suit your tank. It'd look after your tank, but it wouldn't suit you because you wouldn't be able to play enough with it.
Never know.
I have no problem.
Oh, you're chopping it like crazy, DC.
Oh yeah.
Try again. You're clear now.
Yeah, I think I'm a really look at Triton because I my kids are doing reef. Never thought about.
You are auto-tuned like crazy there, DC.
Made out some of it.
Yeah. Yeah, got a bit of it. You would like Triton because of something, probably because you have to do less in your tank will look good.
Oh no.
Yep. Back to tuning his auto. Oh, thanks, Dave. But yeah, no, I don't. I could go back and forth. I don't know. Good old 2-part dosing or 3-part, whatever you want to call it. It's been doing well so far. So
people still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to start. I'm about to start that.
It's great. You get a doser.
I'm trolling
You
the
mix a
hangout.
container, and then you put it there, and you let it dose, and in like 6-7 weeks, you refill it, and then you're good.
Wow, I can't believe people still do that.
I'm actually just about to get a Jaebo doser this weekend.
Nice.
It's brand new for $50.
That's a good deal.
This guy in town has it.
Nice.
Yeah, what you want to do with that?
Am I still choppy, guys?
No, that's clear now, DC.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Man, I was talking about the whole Triton thing. Like, I've been doing reefing for a while, man, and I never thought about testing my fresh batch of saltwater mix because I always just took I just kind of believed that the box, if it says it's going to be at 1,300 magnesium, 400 calcium, I just took the word for it, and just went with it. Cause, hey,
DC, if there's one piece of advice I will give everybody and anybody is in this reefing hobby, do not trust anybody, even me. If I give you some advice, do not trust me, DC. Research it. And I always, invite people to research what I've told them. Even
that's fair.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But when it becomes a chore, like doing maintenance is not a chore to me. But doing these tests, if I got to double check, triple check, it don't become enjoyable. If I have to check the test kit that I just tested with another test kit, that this hobby is not being enjoyable no more. It's starting to become a job, and I don't want it to get to that point where it's stressing me out because I don't trust this system or I don't trust that system.
Well,
I just
Well, here is the big thing, DC, is you don't make your salt the same way I make my salt. You know what I mean? Like me, I can go 35 parts per trillion. Okay, I'm good to go. You, on the other hand, you might go 1.026, I'm good to go, or 1.025, or your actual test kit or your hydrometer can be off by 1, and now it's totally different from what that box is showing you because you're off by 1, but you are consistent with how you make it from, every other week. You are consistent, so you want to try to keep your levels at the same level that you actually make your salt at. You know what I mean?
Well, even if we make identical salt, every tank is different, right? Like, you're not necessarily going to have identical bacterias. There could be different stuff affecting the tank.
I don't know. Like, you're talking very, very fine, like, differences there. I don't know. You're saying that if you're like one part out, you're going to crash your coral? Like...
Yeah, like the salinity. No, I don't think
that's too fine. No, that's too fine a variance. Yeah, no. I just did my natural seawater change in mine, and the levels were all okay. They weren't exactly what I already had in my tank, and even the temperature dropped 1.5 degrees when I added it. But I don't mind that because you get tidal waves in the ocean that are warm and cold, and all my coral just went oof. Everything puffed up.
No,
even though the temperature was 1.5 degrees below what it was.
Yeah, little changes I don't think are
die.
They're not devastating little changes, right? But at the same time, I mean, it's a lot of little things could add up. I mean, his salinity could be a few points lower. His tank could be a couple degrees hotter. He might not have as much beneficial bacteria in the tank. It could be a whole slew of things. That's why every bit of information you get, we speak to what's worked in our experiences, right? Nick services tons of tanks. He has lots of experience that way. Like, I know my handful of tanks and the people I help out. But
yeah, I think it's more like when I say don't trust anybody and don't trust the salt, like test you. The thing is that if you think about it this way, prevention is better than cure. So if you test the salt water mix before you add it to your system, then it's safe. There's not something there. You didn't add 3 scoops when you only meant to add 1. You know, you miscounted or something. So you're preventing an issue before it becomes an issue, and you're trying to then find out what happened. And then you work out that, oh, maybe I didn't add enough salt. Maybe I thought I added 4 scoops when only I added 3. But you've already added it to your system, and then there's something wrong, and you're trying to figure out what's wrong. So by doing the test before you add it, you then go, oh, hang on a minute, how come my salinity is low? How come this is out?
I
That's
test
weird.
the salinity
because
of the
I
water
didn't
matting.
buffer it. I didn't do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Salinity is the only thing I test when I premix. But
me too.
I'm throwing this out there. I also do very tiny water changes. So even if it was way off, it wouldn't make much of an impact. I do a 5-gallon water change.
I'm a big fan of that as well, Dave.
Yeah, so 5 gallons out of 100, 120 gallons, whatever it is, it's like 4% water change. It wouldn't. So I make sure the salinity is spot on because over time it would bugger up. But I still do. I try and do a small one weekly rather than doing a big one once a month because I think it's less impact on the system. It keeps things more stable.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a guy. There's a guy near.
My thing is where if I make my salt to 1.026 and my out comes out to 9 on that salt batch that I make for that water change, I try to keep my tank stable at 9-ish. You know what I mean? So when I do a water change, I already know, hey, my salt is got 9 alk. My tank I keep at 9 alk. I'm only interchanging water just to get out the bad nutrients. I am not using Coral Pro, which is 12, and my tank at 9 alk, and then I'm putting 12 in there and spiking my tank. You know what I mean?
Narcosis, I have a random question for you. Are you in that scuba diving photo in your profile picture?
Yes.
Are you taking out that lady with a big stick?
I am saving that lady with a big stick.
Okay. I was just checking. Someone actually asked in the comments about it a while ago, and I just thought again it reminded me.
Yeah, I'm really considering this Triton method, man, because I really don't want to. First of all, I live in an apartment similar to O, and I don't like doing water changes. I know I do them because, like I said, I have to, but I do them just out of routine. But I'm thinking this Triton method, and I think this Triton method really is going to, I'm gonna say solve my problems. Will make my life much more easier. And I'll find stuff to do with the tank. You know, I like feeding corals, and I like cleaning the glass every day, and mixing up the sand. So I had no problem with the Triton really just taking care of the tank because, like I said, this whole I don't like the test personally. I will find if it's the new. That's why I bought that eye dip thing because I was trying to get away from long tests and shaking the bottle for 15 minutes and waiting 19 minutes to get the results. Like I got tired of that. You know, so
you still need to do water tests with Triton though, DC.
Well, I could send those off to the ICP.
No. Your ICP test. What I usually recommend is to do one. A few weeks after you've started Triton to get a baseline of what's happening in the system, what your uptake is, yeah.
Right.
And then
I'm not doing
normally. Then after that, do them once every 3 to 4 months after that, because you just use your normal water tests to keep your calibration level. Because as your coral grows, your uptake's going to change slightly.
I understand.
So you just use your normal water test for that.
And that's fine, but I'm only doing 1 water test versus 2 when I'm doing a water change. So there's a difference, you know. Like I said, I'm really interested in it. You know, I really got to change some things around because I know Triton is heavy on the nutrient export as far as a refugium like Chaeto.
No. You've got now with the Core 7 product, you've got the one with the refugium, which is your Triton method Core 7, and then they also do the Core 7, which is other methods, and on the other methods one. Then that's you can use something else to do your export.
You said the Core 7 is for the refugium?
No, you've got a new product range in Triton which is called Core 7. And in that product range, there's like 2 models. There's the refugium model, and then there's the other methods. There's the no refugium model. So you can use Core 7 and get the supplements that you don't need a refugium for, and you can use that one if you want. All it is, the only difference is that on the other methods, Triton Core 7, there's no supplementation for algae. Because obviously, if you didn't have a refugium and you were getting algae supplementation, you'd probably get green hair algae or something growing in your tank.
Well, Easy Reefer, you just sold me. I'm going to try it.
Well, if you speak to if you speak to Seymour, he's running Triton as well. So he asked me loads of questions about it. I'll be running Triton in the office. I'll be running an algae reactor, so I'll use the Triton method one.
Nick?
Even though I haven't got a refugium, I'm going to have an algae reactor.
I'd like you to find me.
I was just about to ask that question.
A solution where I never have to clean my glass.
You want a solution never to have to clean your glass?
Yes.
Do you really want that solution?
If you find
Don't switch your lights on.
Well, then nothing will look pretty and grow. But
I thought the ozone was doing that for you.
The ozone kicks butt. Ozone is so good.
Does it affect how much
and
you
not
clean
enough
the
people
glass?
do it because they're scared of it.
Does it affect how much you have to clean the glass? I run it pretty low though, so.
Yeah, ozone, because you're taking the particulates out of the water, so it has less for the algae can take less, so then the algae doesn't grow on your glass.
That's fair. Maybe I'll try running for 4
hours.
hours.
Looks like I'll be running ozone too.
You can also use louvers.
Try it.
You can always also use louvers to keep the light off of the glass, just like Rico doesn't get anything on his back glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you keep it just within the rock and the coral.
Well, I actually...
and not actually on your glass.
I purposely used more XR15s. Like, I went with 4 instead of 3 so that I could use the narrow lenses and not the wide lenses, so there's less light hitting the glass. That was part of my strategy.
Dev, I'll tell you what you would like, and this is something I haven't done, I nearly did do it, but I got sent some glass from Luxembourg to build a 6 foot by 30 by 30 tank. And the glass was ionized glass. So on your iPhone you've got Gorilla Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what they do is they run an ion laser beam through it. And in glass you get, like, if you look at it under a microscope, you've got little holes in it, little pits. But what the ion laser beam does, it makes it smooth, really smooth. It kind of melts those pits to make it super smooth.
Ah, so it's less.
So then what happens? Yeah, so then what happens is even though you might have algae spores forming, they can't grip the glass because it's too smooth. So it's like self-cleaning glass.
I like it.
Self-cleaning glass.
That means I have to build a new tank, though.
So I've still got the glass. We just didn't build the tank.
Does that go with the self-cleaning sump?
Yeah, we could sell CJ a self-cleaning tank. But yeah, basically the algae can't stick to it.
Huh, that's a really cool idea.
There's no pits in the glass for it to adhere to.
Nanoparticle glass. That's a cool idea, though.
Yeah, but you must have seen it. They use it for windows and doors and shower screens and stuff.
Okay, so question for you, Nick, since you have much more experience with ozone. So I'm currently running it fairly low for 3 hours a night.
Yeah, you scared the cat.
So would it be better to turn it to a little more intense, or leave it lower intensity and run it for an extra hour?
The thing is, with the ozone, there's different ways of using it. Some use it to kill pathogens, so you're running that high, and then you definitely need to use an AURT meter or redox meter for that.
I do have an AURT meter, so I have it turn it off when it hits 350. So it will. Yeah. I keep turning it down, and now at one point it will eventually hit 350, and then it will kind of ping it back down.
Yeah. Now, for what I recommended for you to use it as was just water clarity.
Yep.
And that's why I said run it as low as you can, but whilst you're still achieving the water clarity that you want.
So
because then it's not, you don't really need to monitor it then, because it's just water clarity.
So what about glass clarity?
Yeah, so if you want to then impede the algae, I mean, you're going to do that anyway, because if you've got good water clarity, then it shows that you haven't got particulates in the water, which is then going to leach and then feed the algae. But if you want to up it a notch and see if that makes a difference, then try that. The other one for you though.
But would you up it intensity or duration?
Be careful not to like blast. You know, you'd never want to sort of like blast stuff at your tank. So I'd say maybe increase your duration as well as maybe increase the level. But the other big one for you is how long do you have your lights set on to like white and blues, like full spectrum?
What's my photo period throughout the day?
Yeah, whilst they're on like full spectrum. You'll ramp down and ramp up, and you'll have it on blues only, right?
I could tell you my DLI spectrum, but let me tell you the duration. I actually Radeon.
Hey, you just sold me on the Triton. I'm with you, bro.
We like Team Triton.
So there.
I'm with you.
Nick, have you found out about those bulbs for me? Nick, you there?
Oh yes, they didn't have the 150. They only do them in 250.
Oh, you're telling me I gotta upgrade my lights now?
Yeah, you gotta upgrade your lights.
All right. So
wait. So how did you guys? I know you were. Wait. Afterward, you guys can tell me how you convinced DC.
Okay.
He doesn't like testing. So
what have you got for your main? What have you got for your main full spectrum?
So there's a 2-hour ramp up, and then there's 8.5 hours of full spectrum, which is 100% blue and 24% white, green, red.
Oh, so you run them way down anyway, right?
That's the Radeons, yeah. It's basically a modified AB Plus schedule.
That's a lot. I'm running.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought I was running a lot.
You have them on like 2 hours, then 7 hours, then 2 hours?
So 2-hour ramp up, so 0 to 45% over 2 hours, then 8.5 hours at full spectrum, and then a ramp down of an hour and a half. So,
yeah, just try and shorten your main duration.
That will work.
Cut it for like an hour and a half. Most corals like only need around, I'd say, 6 hours of light, which they draw energy from. All the rest of it is just for you.
I'm going to argue with you a little bit on that one.
Go on then.
Because I've been diving really deep into something that I have not made a video on yet, but it's coming, onto daylight interval. And that's basically the difference is how much photosynthetic ions the coral is receiving throughout the period. So you could have a really short period at higher intensity or a longer period at lower intensity and still get the same amount of photons being absorbed by that coral. So this is something I've been digging really deep into lately.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, because like what we tended to do with our coral bays, with our shipments, was run the blues on. But obviously we were open all day. So we're running our lights a longer duration. So we didn't have the intensity up as much.
Yeah.
So you are right.
Hey, DC, can you mute yourself? People are complaining about that.
Sorry about that. At what people normally run their lights on, I tend to find that they run them too long, because at the amount of light energy they're giving the coral, they only need to give that light energy for around 6 hours.
Yeah, so I've actually calculated the light energy for majority of the corals in my tank. So this is going to be like in a couple weeks once I dig into it more. But I calculated the PAR and light energy throughout the day for all over my tank.
You calculated the what, sorry?
The light energy. Like the average throughout the day. Like I did some hardcore math here.
Well, the PAR or the per?
The PAR and the DLI. This is coming.
So how did you calculate the usable light that they're going to use? Or did you just calculate the amount available, the light available to them?
I will show you later.
Right. Because that's why that's the important thing for me with light. Everyone talks about PAR, but PAR is just a number of amount of light.
It means nothing.
What the coral's going to use. It's a different thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
You can have you're like, oh, I have 300 PAR, but if you run it for 6 hours, run it for 10, that's a huge difference in what the coral's getting, right? So this is a
no,
really...
it's not even, no, it's not even that.
Yep.
I could give you a bag of red Skittles, a day to eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like red Skittles, how many of them are you going to eat?
Okay, sorry, let me rephrase
So
that.
par is just
Par
is just a number of light amount. It doesn't tell you of what of the light that the coral's going to use, because a lot of that light coral doesn't need, it doesn't want.
If we both have the exact same spectrum and you're running it for 5 hours and I'm running it for 9 hours, that's a huge difference, assuming the spectrum's the same, right?
No, but again, it's not relative. It's only relative if the spectrums are in line with what the coral is going to use.
No, I agree. But if we're running
that's
the
only
exact
relative
same spectrums, me and you have the exact same lights, but you're running them for 5 hours, I'm running them for 9 hours. That's a huge...
And the coral only... Yeah, but if the coral is only requiring the light to be on for 5 hours, giving it extra light won't make your corals grow bigger. It won't use it.
But
it just won't use it.
No, but what I'm saying though is you could run it for 5 hours at 20%, and I could run it for 10 hours at say 15%, and it could be the same amount of light radiation going to that coral.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So just having a par number on its own doesn't really mean anything.
No.
So this is something I'm really been digging into like crazy lately. So I don't know. It's coming.
Yeah,
for
but
future,
you're right,
yeah.
Dev. No, you are right. But what I tend to find with most people, you know, generally, is that they'll whack the lights up to like full spectrum, and they'll have it on something like 60 blue, 40% yellow, green, and red.
Yeah.
And they'll have that on for like 9 or 10 hours, and it's like your coral only needs that sort of light for around 5 or 6 hours. The rest of it, you're just feeding algae.
Well, Dick, the people that you are referring to are new in the hobby. You got to remember that.
They're not.
A lot of them.
There's loads of established people as well doing that. There's loads of them.
If they are, then how established are they? Because I would like to know that. You know, because
it's like Tim was just on, and he was saying that he's got a problem with his tank and he's lost his clowns and stuff. And I said, "You've got a small tank, haven't you? It's about, you know, it's just a small nano." He said, "Yeah, it's only like 10 gallons." And I said, "Well, personally, if it was me, I'm not a big fan of water changing as such, but because you've got such a small tank and you don't know what it is, you can't put your finger on it, you've got bacteria there. So why not just do a water change? Because it's such a small volume, right?" And people were telling him, "Don't do a water change because you're going to take all the good stuff out."
Well, here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with that. You know, Mick, here's the funny part about it, and there's where I felt like a lot of misconception goes. And that's why I always try to say, this is what I do, but I don't recommend you doing, because I don't want people to say, well, Rico, that's what you do. You know, but at the end of the day, every situation is different. And you're right. On a smaller system, I'd probably I wouldn't dose anything. I wouldn't do anything. I'd feed it and just do little water changes on a small system.
But so, like I said, trying to like correct the parameters on such a small volume of water, like what's the point? You might as well just change it out and then reset it. If it was like 400
you wouldn't
gallons,
even reset, because if you did a water change every week on something like that, it would stay consistent. It would never even reset.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, if he's got problems with it now, I wouldn't try to fix it by doing this and doing that. I'd just swap it out and restart. Not restart the whole cycle.
Once you're out of balance, the best thing you could do is to do a water change.
Yeah.
Period.
People would, he was asking that question, and he said loads of people, including fish shops, were telling him not to do it because it'd take all this good stuff out.
Well, first off, never get your advice from a fish shop. Period. That's all I'm going to say.
I could say amen. I told you. It took me going to the fish stores. Me going to the before I learned about forums and stuff. I was going to fish. This is before I learned about good fish stores, but I was going to fish stores in Brooklyn. It took me a year plus before I even learned about calcium and alkalinity. Like, they were selling me buffers, and I mean, I'm cringing now, but it's funny, but it's not funny. You know, I was.
It is.
So I was like, my pH was low. They were selling me buffers. They were man, it took like a year. I think I stumbled upon a BRS video. I'm like, what the heck is this calcium and alkalinity thing? And yeah, like nobody told me about calcium alkalinity. I was just doing water changes. I was buying buffers. They would, they would sell me the ESV. I would dose 2 milliliter per gallon per day when I had like an empty tank. I'm cringing now, but
Well, you would think over the years of that, when I learned the hard way, just like you're talking about, the exact same thing. And the funny part is, you would think now with technology the way it is, which I didn't have when I started, you would think that the stores wouldn't continue to do that because it's so easy and readily available to go into, like a Reef Chat, lobby or something like that, and kind of get the feel. And as soon as, even whether it's wrong or right info, something like that, you're going to see that you need to test your parameters before you start dosing every day something while you're doing a water change at that too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I learned that not all LFSs are created
equal. I had to jump in because of the whole light thing. Also, with that, what Nick was talking about, and only reason why par instead of per is because that's all anybody knows, and it's a physical number somebody can actually use a par meter to actually see, to adjust their lights.
It's good to know.
I agree, Rico. The only thing with that is that, on the box of a Radian, there's the spectrum chart on the box.
Well,
everyone thinks it's just a picture.
It says 300 par. Yeah, but just because it says 300 par doesn't mean jack diddly squat. It's a physical number to see and to be able to make an adjustment based on what your corals are actually doing and what they need. You can use that as an eyeball versus the human eye, which you can't tell unless you've been in a hobby for a while. And then you kind of just get the feel, and a par meter is irrelevant anymore. A par meter is actually irrelevant, but not irrelevant. Irrelevant because, it's a good indicator if you're still like with metal halides or T5s to seeing a drop in the production of that bulb, as well.
It's a good tool, but it's only half of the picture.
Exactly. But
the way I see a par meter, it's a weighing scale. It just gives you a volume. That's all. It doesn't tell you what's in it.
Just a heads up, guys. I do have to shut her down in a couple of minutes because I have to be at a birthday
party.
No,
you're not allowed to.
20 minutes. I know. It happens.
That's why
I just wanted to,
it's just a like I said, Rico. It's a number, but people get mixed up because, the Chinese guys are clever guys. I know of Chinese companies that produce lighting for other companies, and those companies that ask them to make it say, "I want the light to be cheaper," and they say, "Oh, okay. What we'll do then is we'll take out some of the royal blues or the 410 nanomole blues, and we'll put in the 350s. Not the 350s, the higher numbers, because those bulbs are cheaper.
Right.
And when people use a par meter, they'll get a bigger number."
Yeah, but see, I think we always used it basically just to see, because you got to think about it. When we were just using metal halides, that number didn't mean nothing. Do you understand me? That's what I'm going off of.
That's when we used to understand lighting more.
Yeah, that number means nothing. But you're talking about but you're talking to people that have no clue because of LEDs first off and stuff like that. The metal halide game and stuff. It meant nothing. And the only thing it meant is, okay, I need my bulbs. If it actually dropped a lot, so I know it's time to change out my bulbs. That's it.
But to me, that's how it should be used. That's what par should be used for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
No.
So therefore, normally we ran our lights about 7 hours, and then our PC bulbs, which are 10x, for 12.
Yeah.
There's no difference really in what we were doing then and what people were doing. Well, maybe so, because like you said, some people might be running them for 12 hours or 10 hours this and whatever. I think 7 hours is a great number. 6 hours, I probably, me personally, wouldn't go under 7 hours, to be honest.
Yeah.
On full spectrum.
So the thing is The other thing as well, Rico, is you've got to remember that, with the halides, the reason the tanks used to look so bright is because the way the halide bulb makes the light, you get yellow and you get some blue. So to get more blue, we had to jump up from 250 to 500, 250 to 400 watt halides. So you get more of everything. The thing with the LEDs is we can cut the yellow out.
But that depended on the size. But that depended on the size of the system. I feel like that depended on the size of your system.
Yeah, because you needed more blue to penetrate the water. You needed more, like, more, like a deep tank to get more blue, so that the blue penetrates the depth, right?
All right, kids.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I gotta run.
So
but this is a really good conversation. I do. I have to be at a birthday party in like 20 minutes, and I still gotta pick up the lady. So
we'll do part 2 next time.
Yeah, part 2. We're gonna get more into this because this is actually getting good. So someone wants to open a stream.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, next week he'll be on. So thanks everybody that jumped on. Thanks Seymour for doing the competition. Congrats Aki TV. And very soon I'm gonna make a video about details on how to win a skimmer. All right.
Nice.
So make sure you guys check out Somatic in the meantime because they're a pretty cool kind of Vertex sub brand. Anyways, I will see you guys next week.
Take care, Dad.
Sounds good.
That's good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Nick.
See you guys.
everybody.
Bye. Cheers, Rico.
All right. Bye-bye, bud.